Right, November Day in Newark. One team will finish up their first season of Conference USA football, while another will wrap up their last. It's the Delaware Blue Hens versus the UTEP Miners from Delaware Stadium. Happy Thanksgiving weekend, everyone. I'm Scott Klaskin, thankful to be next to former NFL quarterback Pat Devlin. And Pat, Delaware's used to playing FCS football playoffs at this time of year, but just because there isn't playoff football going on right now doesn't mean there isn't a whole lot to play for.
Yep. Delaware has the opportunity today to get to 6 wins and become bowl eligible in their first year at the FBS level. And that just means a ton for this program. And you know, Coach Carty really wants to get there. They can do it on their home turf, and they can defend their home field.
To pick up that 6th win, this Delaware team will have to slow down a rushing attack that featured a quarterback that can scramble and a running back that ran for 181 yards last week.
Absolutely. UTEP brings a breakout star in redshirt freshman Ashton Emery, who exploded for one of the top rushing performances in the country last week. He's powerful, he's patient, he hits home runs as he showed last week with a 56-yard burst against New Mexico State. The big question today is whether UTEP can recreate that magic against the Delaware defense that's been searching for answers the last couple weeks.
And looking to find those answers today will be a veteran defensive unit that want to leave their seniors going out on top.
Yeah, Scott, that experience has to show up today. KT Say leads the team with 3 interceptions and second in tackles. He's a big impact player for this defense. Gavin Mole leads the defense in tackles, and then there are these seniors on senior day who will need to step up. Those seniors, Hall, Hunter, Saunders, they've seen everything, but this matchup is about doing the simple things really well one last time in the tub. If this veteran group can control the line of scrimmage, set firm edges, and play disciplined, Delaware gives itself a real chance to finish senior day and the regular season the right way.
Will Delaware get a waiver, or will they wave goodbye to their chances at a bowl game? We'll find out coming up next on ESPN+.
Grab me one too.
For the first and likely last time, Delaware and UTEP will meet up on the gridiron. The Hens close out their first season in Conference USA, while the squad from El Paso will move on to the Mountain West when this one is over today. Scott Klatskin, Pat Devlin with you from Newark, where Delaware has lost only once this season, and on a last-second missed field goal at that. Another win, and they can make a case for a bowl game today, Pat.
Yeah, absolutely. Big game for the Blue Hens today, trying to become bowl eligible in their first season as an FBS school would just mean a ton. It would mean a ton for the direction of this program as well. You just never know what to expect that first year when you're making the step up to a new conference, new division, and Delaware has hung in there. They've won some games that a lot of folks thought they probably weren't going to win, and they've also lost some that most folks thought they weren't going to lose. So, you know, what Delaware team is going to show up today is a part of that question. And it depends on what kind of UTEP team shows up today as well in this cold weather.
Well, a day after Black Friday, it's midnight Saturday as Delaware dons the all-black uniform for the second time this season. They debuted them against Middle Tennessee State and got a win. Delaware all-time undefeated in their black jerseys. They call these the Midnight Collection. And Reed will kick this one away. Reed, number 91, that's also how many touchbacks he has in his career. That is a school record for Nate Reed. And so UTEP will get the football first. Nick Henry is back to return that kick. 11 kickoff returns on the season for Nick Henry. Averages 12 per return. Don't know if he'll get one. A little wind in the back of Nate Reed, and could send this one into the end zone as he typically does. There's touchback number 92 in the career of Nate Reed. Let's start with a quarterback spotlight sponsored by Christiana Care for the love of health. And as UTEP comes out onto the field, we take a look at Skylar Locklear, team leader with 8 rushing touchdowns. Has not thrown, though, for 250 yards in a game this season. He does it with his legs.
Yeah, you're not going to see him, throw it all over the field, but they actually do have a fair amount of explosives. They like to set up the run, do a little bit of the RPO screen game. and then they will take some shots down the field. But to set up this offense, it is all about the run game to start, whether it's Ashton Emery or Skylar Locklear.
Emery ran for 181 yards a week ago and a loss to New Mexico State. Locklear throws the wrong team to get things started. An interception to begin the day, and Delaware on the first play from scrimmage takes it back.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of a miscommunication there on the outside between a couple of the wide receivers. Locklear obviously putting it up deep. 17, Jalen Brown really just cut off his route, but there were two UTEP players in the same vicinity. You never want to see that if you're the offensive coordinator. Leads to a turnover, and now Delaware gets the ball right at the 50, and now we'll see what this high-flying Delaware offense can do.
That was a freshman, true freshman, Jamarion Calabote. His first career interception, and Delaware will start at midfield with Byron Ellison, who's looked good since coming in as a starter for the injured Joe Silver. Let's do a quarterback spotlight for Delaware, and Nick Minicucci has been breaking all types of records for Delaware this season, over 3,000 passing yards.
Yeah, you see those stats, 62%, 28 total touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. He really throws the ball all over the field, and this team does, second most pass attempts in the FBS. And it's just a lot of fun to watch these guys move the ball all over the field.
Minicucci, first passing attempt of the day, finds Ellison, who had a catch and run for a touchdown a week ago against Wake Forest. That's the first pass of the day for Nick Minicucci. We'll probably see about 39 more of them.
At least.
He is second in the country.
So now we get into this third down situation, and this is where the UTEP Miners really, they're fun to watch on defense. They might stand up. We know that they're going to bring a lot of blitzes. You can see them here. They're moving around. No one has their hand in the dirt. You just don't know if you're a quarterback where these guys are going to come from, but it's a fun thing to watch if you're a fan.
Coach Carty was very complimentary about their third down defense for UTEP. Byron Ellison needs 7. He won't get there. And we talk about how good this UTEP defense is on third down. They're 5th in the country on third down defense. They get a stop there, probably fourth down territory for
so one of the things you see Coach Carty do that early, you actually run the ball against these stand-up defenses when they're moving around. Sometimes they don't get to the point where they're a gap sound run team, so you get a 3rd and long. You're thinking, we might be able to go for it if we get a couple. You run the ball, you can have some really explosive runs by doing that.
32nd attempt on 4th down this season for Delaware, and they'll roll out Nick Minicucci. He's got a wide open Wilson for a first down inside the 40. No stranger to trying to convert on 4th down as Ryan Carty's offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan Carty loves to go for it on 4th down. 17 of 31 on the season, 54%. Coach Carty talked about that they don't avoid 3rd down as much as they like, but they have actually been pretty successful converting on 3rd down, 2nd in Conference USA, and then 1st in Conference USA as far as how many first downs they generate. So, again, really explosive offense here.
Minicucci pushes it again to Wilson. Wilson's been his favorite target down the stretch of this season. He went over a 3-game stretch, catching 100 yards or more in all 3 contests before being held just shy against Wake Forest a week ago.
Yeah, the ebb and flow of the season is really interesting, right? You talked about Sean Wilson being a favorite target. Earlier in the season, it was really Kyrie Duplessis who was that person. So we'll see who Nick Minicucci ends up working the most today.
On 1st down, Minicucci lofting end zone, and Jake Thal just couldn't get under it. Thal, senior, being celebrated on Senior Day, the transfer from Michigan, where he won a national championship, and he's had a good career here at Delaware.
Jake Thal running a wide 9 there from the inside, doing a little inside fade route. Yasmin Green doing a good job getting over top of him.
As you can see, Ryan Carty, 4th-year head man at Delaware, 31 wins. As the head coach of the blue and gold, Nick Minicucci, his quarterback, going to run for it. Trying to dive for first down yards. Going to come on up shot. It'll be 3rd down and short for Delaware.
Minicucci with a little bit of an early dive there. Might have been able to take another step or 2 to be able to get that first down, but Nick's taken a lot of shots throughout the course of the season here, and I think that's a good move. Trying to not take a big hit there early in the game and get down and get your team in a manageable 3rd and short here. And again, Coach Carty always likes to go for it on 4th down when you get in these kind of situations as well. So you can think maybe a shot to the end zone here.
On 3rd down, Minakuchi slings it, and miscommunication as he was looking for Kyrie Duplessis, and it bounces short. See, they extend the drive here on 4th down and bring in Nate Reed.
That's one of those where if you have a guy up pressed, you can run a fade, and if he's off, you just run the stop route. That time, 2 guys not on the same page there between Duplessis and Nick Minakuchi, and kind of a waste of a down. But again, Delaware stays right back out there, and they'll go for it here on this 4th and 2.
Delaware 0 of 2 on this drive on 3rd down, where they did convert on 4th down. UTEP subbing a player out late. Scott Moore in the ball game, and they'll give it to Minakuchi. He'll keep it himself and run all the way into the end zone. Delaware trying to strike a chord with the UTEP Miners and go up 6-0.
Nick Minakuchi's 10th rushing touchdown on the year. They're just able to do so many things when they get into the red zone. Obviously, that a 4th down play right there. You fake the run play just straight ahead. You get a lot of side-to-side movement with the UTEP Miner defense. Nick Minakuchi is able to gash him right up the middle for an easy walk-in touchdown. Great job blocking up front by those big guys on the UD offensive line.
10th rushing touchdown of the season for Nick Minakuchi, and Nate Reed sends it through for the PAT. 7-0 Delaware. They take advantage of an early interception, and Nick Minakuchi finds the end zone for the 10th time on the year.
I think not today, but back in my day, I would have been able to run through that hole as well. That was a great job by that Delaware offensive line, creating a lot of movement. You love to see the movement pre-snap, a little bit of motion, a little bit of shifting by this Delaware offense, and it enables them to be able to gash this UTEP defense. But it all started with that turnover. One play by this UTEP offense, one interception. You get a short field and you're able to complete the drive and get it into the end zone. You got to be feeling good about that if you're this Delaware team. Coming off of a tough loss last week against Wake Forest. You're playing a Power 4 conference late in the season, late in your first year in FBS, and that game certainly didn't go the way they wanted it to. So this is a good job being able to recover from that.
You saw head coach Scotty Walden at 36 years old. He's the third youngest coach in FBS behind Zach Kitley of FAU and Kenny Dillingham of Arizona State. Coach Carty, also a youngster himself, 21st youngest head coach in the country is Ryan Carty. And the first play of this drive goes a little bit better than the first play of the last drive for UTEP. I like when Ryan Carty is considered a youngster. He's the 21st in the country because we're about the same age.
Right.
And so it makes me, there aren't a whole lot of times where I'm considered young in anything. Locklear, that's 9-on-9. Keyshawn Hunter bringing down Skylar Locklear, who gets it done with his legs. Locklear, as we talked about, only 1,000 yards passing on the season, but 400 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns.
And we talked about Keyshawn Hunter having to step up here, and those big guys, the big seniors, the graduate seniors, 6, 7, 8-year seniors. They have to step up today, and they have to really do a good job being gap sound in the run game to stop this really dynamic UTEP rushing offense.
3rd down and 2. Not a whole lot of room, but he powers through what was not a lot of wiggle room. And Ashton Emery kind of starting off where he left off a week ago with a very good game against New Mexico State, but now he is down. Redshirt freshman from Dallas, Texas, powered his way for the first down on that one. But that's a huge loss for UTEP if he's going to go out.
Yeah, great job keeping his feet moving on this one. You thought the pile was stopped maybe for a loss, and he just keeps those feet going and is able to get a couple extra yards. See if we can tell what happened at the end there. You see he's got a cast on his arm as well. He's obviously going through a lot here, running the ball very hard and coming away with a lot of rush yards. It's good to see him hop up relatively quickly.
And they brought in Cole Gustafson and Tyler Scott from the defensive line
guys
to help get a push on that 3rd down and 2.
Last game of the year. Watch for some creativity. They might throw it out of the backfield to one of those guys later in the game.
I mean, especially if you're Scotty Walden in his 2nd season at UTEP, where you're not playing for a bowl game. You're not playing for really the league. You're leaving. You're going to Mountain West. And he said, a win, though, would mean a lot for his young players. A lot of redshirt freshmen like Ashton Emery, a lot of true freshmen playing this season. Skylar Locklear, a redshirt junior on the team. So a win would be big for those youngsters on the team to take something into the offseason. And they'll run the football with Hashawn Wilson now that Emery has been taken to the sideline. And the senior from Florence, South Carolina, nearly picks up a 1st down.
Yeah, you mentioned ending the year with some momentum. That's obviously really important, but also sometimes just when you're at the end of the season, it gets kind of tough, and you just want to throw some wrinkles into the offense to get some of the guys excited. And, putting a couple big defensive guys on the field on offense is obviously a way to do that.
Yeah, UTEP looking for something. They've lost 4 games in a row. They've been battling them. Yep. They've had close games. And now 3rd down again. After 2 straight to Hashawn Wilson. Locklear will air it out. And he connects for a score from 49 yards away. It was Kenny Odom who got under it.
Kenny Odom, 55 catches on the year, 488 yards, 5, now 6 touchdowns, tied for 1st on the team. Just really the guy that you want to throw the ball up to, and that's that explosive that I was talking about. They just run the ball, get those safeties to come down. Then you have one-on-one coverage, and if you guys can beat them, throw them up, and again, another wide 9. And a great ball by Skylar Locklear to put it right on the money for a UTEP touchdown.
I see that pass, and I wonder why he doesn't throw the ball a little bit more. That was a beautiful ball thrown by the redshirt junior from North Carolina. Extra point is good, and UTEP answers after going down 7-0. A 3rd down strike from 49 yards away ties the score at 7 apiece.
This river wasn't dammed in a day, and GMC trucks weren't built overnight. Like every American achievement, they are a result of dedication. Over 100 years dedicated to the art of engineering and the ambition to always move this country forward. Get 0% APR plus 3,100 total value on this Sierra 1500 model. Plus, current eligible GMC owners get an additional $3,500 purchase allowance.
When it comes to the health of you and your family, you want to trust in having the best partner for your well-being. Ranked a top hospital in the region, that's exactly what you'll find at Christiana Care. Because you deserve excellence from your physician, specialists, nurses, and staff with safe and convenient ways to get the care you need. And at Christiana Care, we add in something special, love. It's at the heart of everything we do, and we do it all for the love of health. Your health.
Do you know what a blue hen is? It's prideful, spirited, fiery. A blue hen never backs down from a challenge. And we're there to support them. Delaware Orthopedic Specialist, the official orthopedic partner of University of Delaware Athletics.
Kenny Odom's 56th catch of the season is a big one. And if you're Delaware, you look back a week ago against Wake Forest, you allowed 3 plays of over 70 yards. Another big X play against the defense that time around.
Yeah, you have to limit explosives if you're any defense, but especially against this UTEP offense. They're going to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, and then try to take some shots. And so if you're this UD defense, you also want to think about matchups, right? Do you really want your safety, Myson Pollard, out there in the slot and a guy who can go either way, right? He's got a lot of field to cover. You really want to get one of your shiftier guys, a guy who's really used to playing in that slot, to match up against Kenny Odom, who, again, is the most dangerous target down the field for this UTEP minor offense.
Tanner Cragun will kick this one away. Myson Pollard, who you saw in the frame with a touchdown, typically returns kicks for Delaware, but Brandon Raymond is a deep man, and it's a short kick. Raymond, the freshman transfer from West Virginia, gets it out to 25, and Nick Minicucci will have another turn at it. He ended up in the end zone after the opening drive, which came to Delaware after an interception from Jamarion Calabote. Nick Minicucci, we're on a Minicucci milestone watch today. He needs 215 yards passing to break the record at Delaware for passing yards per game in a season, which belongs to none other than Joe Flacco.
Coach Carty was really focused on that when we spoke with him this week, right?
He's not a big care about stats guy. He wants to win ball games, and I think they can probably go for any head coach with that. And moving the pile is none other than Joe Silver on that play. And good to see Joe Silver back. Missed the last 2 games with an injury. Byron Ellison done a great job as his replacement, but Silver, the senior from Washington Township, playing on senior day, moving the pile for a first down. Here's Minicucci. You give Nick Minicucci some time, and he's going to find a target. That's Elijah Sessoms, who had not had a catch since the late touchdown against Louisiana Tech at home a couple of weeks ago. No catches in back-to-back weeks on the road, and good to see him get back involved in the offense early on.
Yeah, pretty surprising because he's such a big body out there. You want to try to find ways to get him the ball. Sometimes you could consider him the safety blanket for the quarterback. Good to see him get involved early here.
They swing it over to Joe Silver. Silver, back-to-back first downs on his first 2 touches since returning from injury.
Sean Wilson with a good block on the outside there, along with Elijah Sessoms. Good job blocking on the outside. And then Joe Silver, good job cutting it upfield, getting that first down. Pretty good open field tackle there by TJ Tillman also against a really shifty back.
It'll be Minicucci. Nowhere to run that time. Diving forward to the 45. Nick Minicucci does so much through the air, but 10 touchdowns.
Timeout for an injured player.
He had the game-winning touchdown against UConn earlier this season in overtime. That's the second time UTEP has had a player down. I believe that's Udoka Izani, linebacker with 41 tackles on the season. There he is on the stop, and then slow to get up. Izani began his career at Missouri State, one of the 2 newest members of Conference USA. Bounced around a little bit, played at Boise State last season, and UTEP hopes that he will be all right. That's two major players for UTEP that have gone out with injury. Izani there and Ashton Emery on the offensive end.
Yeah, both have jumped up here, so hopefully they can get back on the field here pretty quickly. But again, if you're this UTEP defense, you're really looking for a lot of momentum. You don't like to see your guys go down, obviously. You want to keep them as healthy as you can.
They fake it to Silver, and now Donovan Lewis with the rock. Pushing and shoving his way towards the first down marker. Think they're going to make it 3rd down and 1.
See a little fake and a pitch for a reverse. Donovan Lewis, good job cutting it upfield there. Good job by Cody Lowe there, cutting the ball back inside. A lot of times on a reverse, you just tell your guy, get as far outside as you can, don't cut it back up, but no option there for Donovan Lewis.
Likely in 4-down territory if needed, and we'll see if it is indeed 4-down territory, because Silver just shy of the first down on that carry. They've gone for it on 4th down twice, converted both. Really been no issues on both of the opening drive 4th down.
Yeah, it's something this Delaware offense obviously practices a lot. They go for it a lot on 4th down. Bring in an extra lineman here, so you're thinking that they're going to go straight ahead.
That's a direct snap to Byron Ellison, who should have enough. Forward progress got him to the line to gain. We're running Cole Snyder as an extra blocker there, the senior offensive lineman. UTEP's pointing like they got to stop. I thought from our vantage point, Ellison certainly got to the line to gain.
Pull the chains out and measure. Looked like he got it with that first initial burst.
I certainly thought so.
It is definitely going to be close where that ball is spotted.
Rory Bernard calling for the chains. We don't yet have that NFL, the video. Old school chain gang coming out. I thought the initial burst by Ellison got him there. It obviously did not. And so UTEP gets a stop on defense, and the offense will come back out onto the field when we come back. The push, not far enough for Delaware. Review, but we did. What do you think, Pat?
I think it's a good mark. I really do. He had to get to the 36 about to get that first down, and it looks like he was just short. I think it was a pretty good spot.
Well, UTEP gets the turnover on downs. The offense comes back onto the field. And Kenny Odom, last time we saw him, he was in the end zone. Now will be tackled for a loss.
Yeah, I think this UTEP running game really does an unbelievable job on the inside run, right? This is a little bit of a misdirection play. You got Odom going in motion one way, coming back for the outside zone the other way. But when this UTEP team is at their peak and at their best, they are running it right downhill with inside zone.
That was Merge Malumba's team best 7th tackle for loss on the year. Malumba getting more and more snaps since Dylan Traynor, one of the captains, has gotten injured. Shame for Dylan Traynor as he missed now 6.5 games this season. He's a mainstay on this Delaware team. There was a flag on this play. It's Rory Bernard you're looking at.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 69, 15-yard penalty. It's third down. The down counts.
Yeah, James
this
Williams.
is number 69's first unsportsmanlike foul of the game toward disqualification.
James Williams with the unsportsmanlike there. When we look at the stats going into every game, one of the ones that jumped off of the page was the number of penalties that this UTEP team had. First in the conference, averaging with 63 penalties on the season. You know, not necessarily undisciplined in that instance, you might actually say that, but one of those things that can really set back an offense, especially one like this that needs to be able to run the ball.
Third and El Paso. And James Yelbert and Keyshawn, the quarterback hunter, with a big-time sack. Delaware will get the football back.
Yeah, 3rd and 26, not the down and distance you want if you're this UTEP offense.
Certainly not if you're the 132nd ranked team in the country at converting on third down.
Yeah, that's not the spot you want to be in, but don't turn the ball over. Take the sack, take your medicine, punt it away, and get your defense back out there.
Jake Thal will be back awaiting Noah Botsford's punt. This not his best. He'll bounce at midfield. Thal will get away from it. He'll take a UTEP roll. Botsford had a 70-yard punt earlier this season. There is another flag on the play.
Looks like it's going to be holding on Delaware.
Holding. Holding. Receiving team. Number 16. 10-yard penalty. Correction.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
Holding. Return team. Number 16. 10-yard penalty. It's first down.
It's Noah Jefferson for Delaware getting called for the penalty. Freshman, plays on special teams, a little bit on defense as well. Glad we got that straightened out there, Pat.
We got there. It's late, it's cold. We're just warming up.
That's true. You know, talking about the weather and, you know, would it affect Delaware? Not a whole lot of cold weather games this year, traveling around Conference USA. And, you know, you would think it would affect the team from El Paso a little bit more than the team from Delaware. So, I'm sure it's a nice day on the campus of the UTEP Miners today, back home.
Looked it up a couple hours ago, 71 in El Paso. But they wish they were playing that home game right about now. But if you leave the conference is the ones who sets up these matchups, right? So
no favors for the team on their way out to the Mountain West.
That's right. Send them up to Newark at the beginning of December.
Minicucci's had some time to deliver today, and Donovan Lewis, the recipient that time.
Yeah, so far Minicucci has been right on the money. Coach Carter getting him some throws early on that were on the simpler side. This one, a incredibly long, far hash out route. Good job by Minicucci seeing the access and putting the ball on the money. You always want to leave that ball outside.
Steps up. This time it's Patterson's turn. Close to first down yards, gets into UTEP territory and spreading the love already. That's 6 receivers that Nick Minicucci has found in the first quarter alone. This is a quarterback that spreads the wealth. 10 receivers have caught a pass in 6 games this season. They're the only team in college football to achieve that mark. Silver spinning and keeping those legs moving across the 40. You can tell he's wanted to get back on this football field after missing the last 2.
Yeah, refusing to go down, just keeping those feet churning now the second time today. Good job spinning around, but just staying on his feet. And UTEP Miners keeping him upright, maybe trying to pull on that ball a little bit. Good job by Joe Silver, keeping a couple hands on it, taking care of that football.
Dumping it down to Silver. Some green ahead of him. And another first down for Joe Silver. Has been very active today. 4 carries. And that's his 3rd catch in the first quarter already.
Yeah, good job. A bunch of guys going down the field. You see Minicucci looking to his right, dropping it off on the check down to his left. A lot of room there. This UTEP Miner defense is going to be pretty plain Jane vanilla on first and second down, and you can see this Delaware offense trying to take advantage of knowing where these guys are going to line up.
Nick Tyree, the speedster, gets into the red zone at the 20-yard line. Anytime 6 is in the game, you got to watch out for him. The redshirt freshman from Chester, Virginia. His brother Chris played at Notre Dame in Virginia, and Tyree has been the recipient of some sweeps and reverses.
A couple free passing yards there for Nick Minicucci. I wish
right.
they had that in the offense when I was playing.
Minicucci rolls. Patterson. Max Patterson hit hard as he's shoved out of bounds inside the 10.
Again, good, easy completions. These guys know where UTEP is going to line up on first and second down. Let's just find a way to find some completions and stay ahead of the sticks. So far, this Delaware offense has done a good job of doing that, avoiding the negative plays. Looks like they're going to take it to the end of the first here.
We'll switch sides. Delaware on the attack. First and goal to go for the Blue Hens. A tie score after 15. First and goal to go to start the second quarter for the Delaware Blue Hens, led by Nick Minicucci, who was 10 of 12 in the first frame. We'll start with Byron Ellison picking up 5. Byron was a starter for Delaware over the last 2 games with Joe Silver being injured, and 234 total yards for Byron against Sam Houston in Wake Forest.
Yeah, Byron running hard there. You heard some pads pop at the end of that run. Again, a cool, chilly day here in Newark. Setting the pads early, this Delaware offense.
Minicucci, end zone, Scott Moore's first career touchdown.
Yeah, Connor Whittoff not able to go today, leaving the door open for Scott Moore. Scott Moore doing a great job making the most of it. We've seen a couple of those passes to the flat early on in the field. They bring it to the red zone in this dynamic red zone offense. And an easy play fake, throw it to the flat. Scott Moore with a walk-in touchdown in his first as a UD Blue Hen.
True freshman from Girard, Kansas. He's come along since that injury to Connor Whittoff, as you mentioned, Pat, and finds the end zone. Nate Reed gets it through. 14-7. Delaware starts the second quarter with a touchdown from the tight end.
The USA Insider is the official podcast of Conference USA. Whether you're a diehard alum, a devoted CUSA fan, or a casual sports enthusiast, this podcast is designed with you in mind. We bring you exclusive interviews with athletes, coaches, and insiders, shedding light on the stories and happenings from around the league. Subscribe to CUSA Insider on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon Music, or watch the show on YouTube. CUSA Insider, the official podcast of Conference USA.
Kimmel Carter, your Delaware injury lawyers.
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 Hey, grab me one too.
Let's take a look at the standings, sponsored by Easter Seals, serving all ages and all abilities throughout Delaware and Conference USA. 5 teams will be playing in bowl games, another 2 possible with some waivers. If Delaware wins today, Missouri State, you see already enough wins to play in a bowl game. If not enough, get to 6. You look at the bottom 6 of the standings, though, and a combined 6-29 record on the road. And I think that's where Delaware will have to make their jump next season, as they play so well at home. And you look at the bottom 6 teams there, each have only have 1 road win this year.
Yeah, if you're Delaware, you want to own the tub, and you did a good job of doing that this year, but playing on the road does separate the men from the boys. And, you know, a lot of those teams in the lower half of the table just have not been able to win on the road. And you wonder why, right? It's just, but football is such a game of momentum that just something little, like, you know, sleeping in your own bed or sleeping at home, right? It just makes a difference in that travel, and you got to get used to it. Delaware's not used to traveling all over the country to play these football games week after week after week. And if you're Delaware, you have to make sure that the guys start to feel that, understand it. It's much different than when you're kind of like a more regional-based teams and you're flying through time zones and you have a lot more to think about or worry about.
It is Conference USA for a reason. A lot of mileage picked up by Delaware, and the same for the other teams traveling to Delaware, where they have a hard time to play at Delaware Stadium. It's a journey for everybody. And now we see Shea Smith in the ball game, the redshirt freshman from El Paso.
The previous play is under review for potential targeting.
So they'll take a look at the return from Nick Henry. And there's Locklear on the left side of your screen. Scotty Walden, the second-year head coach, talking with the officiating crew. Rory Bernard will take a look. The replay official is Jamie Grant, and we'll take another look. See Nate Reed, the all-time record holder for touchbacks in a career.
Maybe they're looking at a specific block.
It wasn't on the tackle.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but you mentioned Shea Smith coming in at quarterback. Now the fourth drive for this UTEP Minor offense. You wonder if sometimes...
After review, the ruling on the field of no targeting is upheld.
Well, yeah. Not sure what they were looking at there. More on Shea Smith.
No, but sometimes you're at the end of the season. You're not necessarily playing for a whole lot during this game. Let's give a guy, the opportunity to play some real snaps here in Shea Smith, and maybe they'll give him a drive. Maybe they'll give him the next 3. You never know.
One of those redshirt freshmen on the team. Scotty Walden, his second season, so a lot of these second-year players are playing this year for UTEP. Smith will hand it off, and UTEP getting gobbled up. Elijah McCoy, a true freshman, going backwards.
It sounds kind of silly, but getting Shea Smith just these reps is really important. You see a couple guys in motion. You have to time up a motion man to be able to hand it off on the right timing. All that stuff, those reps are just different from practice versus the game. When guys are moving a little bit quicker during game day, it can throw these things off a little bit.
Smith going nowhere. The last play belonged to Merge Malumba, his second tackle for loss of the day. And that one not going very far either. Smith has appeared in 9 games this season. He's only thrown the ball against Utah State and ULM. Going to need to add Delaware to that list on 3rd and long, though. Here comes pressure. Hit as he throws. And a flag on Myson Pollard, who's not having a good first half of football today. Got beat on the touchdown to Kenny Odom and grabbed on there, which will allow UTEP to get the first down.
Ball hung up in the air for a while. It's always when there's that underthrow that you get in trouble, and Myson Pollard just didn't get his head around soon enough. It seemed like there was a lot of hand fighting. It's probably going to lead to a pass interference.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both for defensive pass interference. Defense number 6 and 8. 15-yard penalty, it's automatic first down.
Don't know if everything's being communicated clearly to Rory Bernard today. He's having a tough first half as well, but the foul was on 2. You can see Myson Pollard there. Not a spot foul, but it does allow UTEP to continue their drive after a 3rd and 13. Seemingly it looked like it was going nowhere.
Did kind of look like he got his head around, but I'm good. I'm an offensive guy. That's pass interference all day.
Elijah McCoy in motion here. McCoy's second carry, a little better than his first. He'll pick up 2.
Yeah, that's that inside zone game. See if Shea Smith, I don't know how good of a runner he is, but you might have the opportunity to pull one of those here if they keep running a lot more of that inside zone play that they love so much.
Well, Smith ran for the only score of UTEP against Texas earlier this season. And on the run now. Pumps, throws, bobbled. Did he hold on to it?
I don't know if he completed the catch there at the very end. It looked like he was bobbling it at the end. Referees are talking.
Let's take another look.
Yep, incomplete. Really good job putting the ball on the money by Shea.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. It's 2nd down.
Just when he falls to the ground, that ball pops out of Kenny Odom's hands. He's not able to complete the catch.
And if there's no bobble, I don't know that doesn't go for 20 more yards.
Yeah.
Because there was some room ahead of Kenny Odom.
You see the ball's just a little bit ahead of him. Couldn't keep his feet, and just the ground caused the incompletion there.
It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Should be 3rd down and 8. We're looking at a 3rd and 10 right now on the sticks.
Yeah, they picked up some yardage on 1st down. We were on it. The officials got there. Probably with some help from Scotty Walden.
Yep. Scotty was on it.
3rd down and 8. Delaware leads 14-7 and brings some pressure. Pass is caught, but Eric Willis is unable to run for the 1st down.
Looked like Khalil Ali making that play in the open field. Delaware brings a lot of pressure. The perimeter attachment is an answer for UTEP in a lot of cases. They throw it out here, and Ali with just a great job getting Eric Willis down to the ground to trigger this 4th and 2.
It's a big 4th down here. If you don't get it and you're UTEP, you give Delaware possession in plus territory, and that offense has looked powerful so far today. Delaware bringing pressure on 4th and 2. Emery back in the ball game, but he won't get the 1st down, and Delaware will take over. So Ashton Emery, after leaving the game with an injury, comes back in and does not get enough. That'll send us to a timeout. Delaware football up by 7 when we return. Now the offense that have put up 156 yards so far back onto the field, led by Nick Minicucci. Lofts to Wilson, who catches the football. I thought he stayed in bounds, but they'll mark him out of bounds inside the 25. Sean Wilson has been on a tear as of late.
Cardi talked about in our call this week how those 50-50 balls, the ones on the sideline, they haven't won a ton of those. It's good to see them win some. This offense, which has been so explosive, has been less explosive. They've been more able to just work the ball slowly down the field and then convert in the red zone versus years past where they've really been trying to push the ball down the field on the sidelines and have their guys make big plays on the sideline. So good to see Sean Wilson come down with that fade ball. Not able to convert on that last play, however.
Both their scoring drives today, 9 plays for Delaware. On second down, Ellison, hole on the right side. He hits it. It'll be 3rd down for the Hens.
Ellison with a very shifty move in the hole there. It looked like he juked KD Johnson out. Just a Good job maneuvering his way through there, making it a manageable third down here for the Blue Hens.
Inside the red zone on third down. Minicucci drops the football. He does fall on it. That's been an issue for Delaware this season. They are 130th in FBS in fumbles lost. They did not lose that one, but they have lost 10 other fumbles this season.
It's just one, as you pull it, that running back's hip just kind of hits the ball, and the way he was holding it just knocked it out of Nick Minicucci's hand. You think they may have gone for it if they got a couple yards on that third down. Given that they went backwards there, they're going to kick the field goal here.
Nate Reed on to give it a try. And that's through for Nate Reed. Last time Nate kicked on this field, it was a game winner against Louisiana Tech a few weeks ago. So the turnover on downs. Delaware doesn't move the football into the end zone, but they do get 3 points thanks to a short field.
Yep, so Delaware obviously needs a win today. They also need a lot of help. They need something like 6 of this list of 12 teams to be able to go in their favor today. So as we sit right now, Kentucky, Louisville's up 20-0. Houston, Baylor. Houston is up 17-9. Both of those are favorable to the Delaware Blue Hens. And then Colorado, Kansas State is 7-7 right now. That's neutral. So, and then the last game that started at 1 here in our window is UCF versus BYU. UCF is up 14-7, so that's going the opposite way that the Blue Hens want. So there's some positivity out there if you're a Blue Hen fan hoping for a bowl eligibility season.
Yeah, you talked about it in the opener, Pat, but for Conference USA fans watching today and Blue Hens fans that are watching, Delaware ineligible to make a bowl game as a first-year member of FBS. But if not enough teams get to 6 wins, they will take then more than likely Missouri State and Delaware. Missouri State already with the 6-win mark. And so Delaware fans should be rooting against any team with 5 wins today. Here's a sentence that we weren't able to say in years past for Delaware football as Nate Reed will send it to Nick Henry. And he gets down to the 15-yard line. Delaware needs help from the Alabama Crimson Tide tonight. That's a new sentence for Delaware football fans. But Alabama 9-2 will take on an Auburn team that is 5-6. And so if Alabama, it's one of the many games that Delaware needs to go their way, but Alabama, if they can beat Auburn in that rivalry matchup tonight, it would actually benefit the Blue Hens. UTEP will stick with Shea Smith, the backup quarterback, and he'll keep it himself. Doesn't get very far. What can UTEP do to get themselves going offensively, Pat?
They just need to continue to stay ahead of the chains. So they got behind the chains on one of their drives on a 3rd and 26 or whatever it was. But they need to get 3 on first down, 4 on first down, do it again on second down, and leave yourselves a manageable third down. Because we don't think that they're going to be able to throw it all over the field, but doing this, get an extra blocker with your running back, get 3 or 4 yards every single play. And in this case, you probably don't want to be in the 3rd and 5 with a freshman QB out there for a second drive, but it's still better than the third and really long situation.
Shea Smith coming in to relieve Skylar Locklear through a good-looking ball for a touchdown in the first quarter. But we've talked about the final game of the season for UTEP. They're 2-9 on the year, 1-6 in Conference USA. Maybe trying to build some momentum for next season. Third down for the Miners. And a strip and a score for Gavin Mole.
Not sure what happened to the ball carrier. It looked like Eric Willis got the handoff going to the outside. Looks like he's trying to cut it back upfield. Just a great strip by Myson Pollard, who hadn't been having the best half so far of football he's ever played. Steps up for this UD defense in a very big way. And Gavin Mole is Johnny on the spot. Ball bounces right into his chest. Easy walk in for the turnover touchdown. for this UD defense.
And Coach Carty talking to us earlier in the week, if they can win the turnover battle, he said Delaware will be in better position to win the football game. They always are. Under Ryan Carty, Delaware 21-0 when they win the turnover margin. They are +2 today, thanks to Jamarian Caligbody's interception. And this, Gavin Mole, scoop and score.
At the University of Delaware, our classrooms are idea incubators. Nearby beaches are our research laboratories. Our Blue Hen spirit leads to bold adventures. We learn, challenge, explore, and triumph together. Because here at UD, nothing is out of reach. No limits, all possibilities. The University of Delaware.
What is Easter Seals?
What is Easter Seals?
Easter Seals provide services that give children the power to succeed. People with disabilities a place in their community. Seniors and caregivers the support that they need. Easter Seals Delaware and Maryland's Eastern Shore is changing lives every day. Are you raising a family? Caring for a parent? Know someone with a disability? Easter Seals is here for you. Look us up.
Today's game is presented by Pepsi. That's what I like. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. Moon Services, for out-of-this-world service, moonairInc.com. And the Delaware Office of Highway Safety. You are where road safety starts in Delaware. Visit ArriveAliveDE.com for more information about the Delaware Office of Highway Safety. Delaware leads 24-7 in the second quarter. See some fans braving the cold weather here in Newark, Delaware. And right now the cold not bothering the home team. I don't know about the team from Texas, though, as they trailed it and just coughed one away to Gavin Mole, thanks to Myson Pollard knocking it through. Nate Reed's kickoff is waved for, and this is a Delaware team that has been waiting to take the ball away. They do not have a whole lot of turnovers gained on the year, only 10 turnovers gained. They are -8 on the year in turnover margin, but today they've taken advantage of an interception, scoring a touchdown on the opening drive, and right there, the touchdown from Gavin Mole.
Yeah, when we talked to Coach Carty about what are the important statistics, the first one he mentioned is turnovers, followed by explosive plays, first and second down plays, red zone percentage, conversions, and then third down conversion ratio as well. So obviously one of the most important statistics in football is that turnover ratio. And like you said, they just haven't done a ton of it this year, right? And offensively, it's good that they haven't turned the ball over a lot, but defensively, you want to create that chaos. You want to be able to take momentum away from the opposing team.
Locklear back into the ball game. That one batted away from Merge Malumbo, who's been very active in this first half. There he is again, blowing up this play. Locklear on the run. And you can see why this quarterback is so hard to bring down, using his legs there, getting himself out of trouble.
Very elusive in the open field. Doing a great job getting away from Blake Matthews at the end of this one. Again, showing a little speed, showing a little shiftiness, diving forward to make it this third and manageable, the kind of realm that this UTEP minor offense wants to operate inside of.
Locklear found Wandamy Davis for a first down, but flags on the play.
Yeah, it looked like Myson Pollard with a 2-point takedown there.
Scotty Walden in his second season with UTEP, 5-19 at UTEP, 39-38 as a head coach overall.
Defense, number 2. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, first down.
It's Myson Pollard again. Pollard, the senior from Norwalk, Connecticut, had 2 interceptions in the game on the road against FIU earlier this season. A couple penalties. Got beat for a touchdown, but also knocked the ball loose, so play a go.
We called that FIU game. Delaware won that FIU. We just have to call more away games. That's what's going on.
I think that's the combo.
That's the key, to get some away wins.
That was the lone road victory for Delaware this season at FIU. What a start this Delaware team got off to this year in FBS, I think to the surprise of many, because you never know what this transition is going to be like from FCS to FBS. But a big win against UConn, and then at the time a huge win against FIU. It's still a bowl-eligible team. There's a flag on this play as Locklear runs, but Delaware kind of shut down the preseason Offensive Player of the Year at that point.
Hold offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty, it's second down.
That's the right tackle, Jake Utley.
They also showed a lot of flashes, right? Even at the Colorado game, I mean, they did a good job in the first half there up until the end of the first half. But again, it's been a really up and down season, and that consistency across when you're playing an elevated level of competition is so important. But it's also very difficult when you're talking about 18 to 22-year-old kids. You know, it's just difficult to be the same person day in and day out. And it starts on the practice field and encouraging that kind of behavior day in and day out.
Coach Ryan Carty's saying, you know, we could have 7 wins on the year. We
really
also could have 3 or 4.
Timeout, UTEP, their first, 30 seconds.
But you talk about UTEP, their last 3 games, New Mexico State, they lost 34 to 31. Missouri State, 38-24, not as close. Jacksonville State, top of that table we showed earlier, 30 to 27, right? They almost eked that one out. So they can play as well. They just need to be more consistent with their delivery on the field.
A week ago, UTEP led 21-0 in the first quarter, and then New Mexico State scored 21 unanswered in the second quarter. It was tied at the half, and so then they went back and forth in the second half. Ultimately, New Mexico State getting a 34-31 victory over UTEP. So Scotty Walden talked about that their team has been in it. They have an average fourth quarter deficit of only 4.8 points heading into the fourth quarter of these games. They've been battling, just have not been able to win these ball games. And now Coach Walden talking with his quarterback, Skylar Locklear.
And it's because they can run the ball so well. They can just control the clock, keep the opposing team's offense off of the field.
After the timeout, it looked like Locklear just got to the in position late with 4 on the play clock. Had to rush that one from the start.
You just hate to see that coming out of that timeout, right? The coach is hanging on to the quarterback. Quarterback has to run to the line of scrimmage, can't get really confident. Maybe a little bit of frustration in that throwaway right there, trying not to take a hit. It's a shame on that second and long. You're trying to get a couple of yards back to get maybe in front of the sticks a little bit, get you to a 3rd and manageable. Now you're in this 3rd and 19. I think screen draw, something short.
Locklear, there is a flag, so whatever he does, likely coming back. It was in direction of holding. It was a penalty that set UTEP back.
Personal foul, hands to the face, offense, number 69. That penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
What do you think about that? You think you take that penalty? Get them all the way back to the 15-yard line? Give them a 3rd and forever? You just take the 4th down, punt it away?
You're getting the ball back here. And so they'll bring the punt unit in. Let's see if we can catch James Williams.
Yeah,
top right of your screen. Jake Thal back to return. Noah Botsford is the punter for UTEP. He's a skilled one. Thal pointing at it. And it'll be down inside the 20 for Noah Botsford. That's his 17th punt this season inside the 20. The junior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, ranks 12th in FBS and 3rd in Conference USA in punt average. And so, Pat, this Delaware offense will come back out onto the field. They've got 178 total yards, 104 through the air, 74 on the ground so far.
They've been about as advertised, moving the ball up and down the field. They made a couple plays on the sideline, which we haven't seen as much of this year, which is good to see if you're a UD offensive fan.
Minicucci on the run, and giving chase was Tyler Scott. Minicucci has to live to see another down.
Feels like this offense has been good, staying ahead of the chains, not being heavily penalized. Haven't seen the holdings and the other penalties that we've seen by the UTEP side of the ball. If they continue to play clean, they've taken care of the ball as well, haven't turned it over. You should expect to continue to see this UD team moving up and down the field.
Minicucci, sideline. And good coverage that time. Knocked away. I think perhaps Delaware fans waiting for a flag that did not come.
Marcel Blocker out here on the outside doing a great job against Kyrie Duplessis. You see some hand fighting there. I don't think it was enough to warrant a penalty. So now this is one of the first times, again, 1st and 2nd down. This UTEP defense doing a good job not giving up any yards. Now you're going to see some kind of crazy exotic blitz. You see a safety running all over the field.
Minicucci on the run. He's got some room, showing speed. 1st down pickup.
The short.
Or just shy.
Minicucci on the carry.
Minicucci just short of that 1st down to gain.
Again, they bring a blitz. You see pressure right at the middle. Minicucci doing a good job getting out of there. He's just not able to get to that 1st down marker. Let's see where that foot comes out.
Nice job by Elijah Baldwin to knock him out of bounds. And Delaware's going to call a timeout. As I think Nick Minicucci is asking to stay on the field, and they had Brendan Lockout to punt it away.
Timeout, Delaware. Their first, 30 seconds.
There's Nick Minicucci. 279 of 445 on the season coming into this one. He's thrown 17 times today. 3rd most pass attempts in the country this season, is 1st in FBS. I did the math, Pat, and if you threw as many times per game as Nick Minicucci, I checked it twice, you would have thrown for over 1 million yards. I think that's what it was.
We did not need to throw it nearly that much. We had a really solid running game, and we were more in line of UTEP, if you believe that. We were running the ball 1st and 2nd down, some nice easy throws on 3rd down, try to make it manageable as much as you could, because when you have a running back like Andrew Pierce, you just have that luxury to be able to turn it around and almost guarantee some positive yards every single time you hand it off.
AP, one of the greats. They are looking at the spot. I think that's why they called the timeout to take a look at it. Nick Minicucci, though, 4th in passing yards in FBS. Mentioned 3rd in pass attempt, 8th in total offense, 17th in points responsible for, and another rushing touchdown. To throw for 20 touchdowns and run for 10.
After review, the ruling on the field of the runner being short of the line of game is upheld. Delaware is charged their 1st timeout.
I just don't know if we had a good look at that. It's kind of a tough camera angle to be able to see if he got there or not. Again, you got a couple referees right there on the sideline. I think the spot was good.
Had some close calls on 4th down and now 3rd down in this game so far for Delaware. Delaware a turnover on downs earlier in the contest from Byron Ellison. A couple of inches, and now a 4th down and 2 call. They didn't change the spot either on the review. So Brendan Locke will come out. kick this one away. The graduate transfer from Michigan Tech. 38 punts on the season, just under 40 yards per punt. And just barely gets this one away. Brandon Raymond trying to add some movement to that football and downs it inside the 30. Raymond, wide receiver, will likely play more and more in his Delaware career. Didn't get as many reps offensively, but always a smile on his face. Good locker room guy is Brandon Raymond. And he downed the football on special teams. So UTEP will come out with Skylar Locklear, who's 2 of 5, 51 yards. 49 of those yards coming on a touchdown toss to Kenny Odom.
Good job identifying there. That feels like an RPO concept. They see access to the high side of the field. Instead of running the ball, just go ahead and throw a hitch out there to the outside. Easy pitch and catch to get this drive off to a good start for this UTEP Minor offense.
And that's what you're saying. Just to get 4 or 5 yards on first down. Stay ahead if you're UTEP. Pump and go. He has a man. And running ahead of the pack is Josh Schutz for another huge UTEP score.
It's just what this UTEP offense does. They run it, they run it, they run it. They throw a couple perimeter attachments. I don't even think they've thrown that outside screen that much, but they pump the outside screen, and you see Josh Schutz just going right down the sideline, outrunning the entire Delaware defense. Khalil Ali cannot make the tackle at the end, and Schutz walking it into the end zone.
A 64-yard strike. This is after UTEP scored on a 49-yard touchdown in the first quarter. The extra point is through. They bring in Carlos Ariola for the extra points. Tanner Cragen does the field goals. But if you're UTEP and you're looking for some offense, it all comes in one chunk right there. Josh Schutz, another redshirt freshman getting playing time for this Miners team. Didn't play last year with an injury as a true freshman. His third touchdown of the year is a big one. And for Delaware defensively, that's now 4 plus 60-yard plays you've allowed in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, the explosives, like we talked about, are such a big, important factor in this game. But I think if you're on the Delaware side of the ball, you're actually thinking they've done a good job stopping the run so far. That's been such a big Achilles heel of this defense. But they've actually done a good job so far slowing down this UTEP offense run game. But they have not been able to stop the explosives, and you saw it right there. But again, it is what this UTEP offense does. They just try to lull you to sleep, and then take some shots, and they've been successful. 14-24, it might not feel like it, but they're able to hang in by just getting a couple of those explosives throughout the game.
Now Raymond, we were just talking about him on special teams. He'll return this kick. And a leap gets him past the 35.
You just see the athleticism jump off of the page for Raymond. Doing a good job getting out here on kick returns. Good job blocking it up. Obviously, big hole. Good job finding a way. And you got to hold on to that ball. You see the ball out to the side when you make those jumps. I'm sure coaches will be talking about that during film. You got to be careful with ball security when you're getting tackled or jumping over people. Not that I would know.
Delaware leads Conference USA in kickoff return yardage. Whether that's Pollard or Raymond there, Jakari Kelly, who's out for today's ball game. All have done a good job of returning kicks for Delaware. Myron Ellison with the carry. Ellison, a Texas native himself from Dallas, played at Tulsa last year as a true freshman and now a sophomore. Talking with Coach Carty earlier in the week talking about Ellison. You equate transfers with graduate students or older players, and Ellison a transfer, but only a sophomore. He's a young guy, and he's played very well for Delaware down the stretch of this season. Very promising for next year with the Hens.
We mentioned Joe Silver being out those last 2 games, and you always wonder what'll be, who will be the next person to step up, and Byron Ellison has done a great job stepping into that void and making the most of his opportunity. And like you're saying, it sets him up for the next year here at Delaware to be a really big, important factor in this offense. Gives the coaches some time to kind of get some confidence in the player, too.
Pass is deflected, and somehow it still reaches Jake Thaw for a first down. Thaw, a go-to guy on third down, his 27th catch of the season. 9 receivers have caught passes for Delaware in this one as Ellison tries to break it to the outside. At least 8 different players have caught passes now in 10 of 12 games on the year for Delaware.
Well, when you throw it 50 times a game,
doesn't mean you're bringing in different guys, though, necessarily, as you see some stats on Byron Ellison this season. Nine guys in this one. Minicucci, middle of the field is open. And staying on his feet is Kyrie Duplessis. Just shy of a score.
We talked about they've had struggles on the outside. They've done a great job with these in-cutter. You see like a double slant, double post type concept. Duplessis on the outside makes the catch and does an unbelievable job staying on his feet, breaking some tackles, getting up the sideline. You can see that 12.8 yard average per catch. He's done a lot of damage throughout the course of the season to add on to the 5 touchdowns that he also has. Now we'll see this UD red zone offense as well.
Minicucci gives to Joe Silver, back like he left something. Missed the last 2 with injury and now finds his way into the end zone.
KD Johnson in the backfield that time leads the UTEP defense in tackles for loss. Is not able to bring down Joe Silver in the backfield that time, and once Joe got past KD Johnson, there was no one left. You see he's able to just give him a little bit of a stiff arm. Keep those feet turning so he can get into the end zone.
That is 31 first half points for the Delaware Blue Hens. Under Ryan Carty, the Hens are 23-1 when scoring 30 or more in a game. Their only loss came this season at Liberty. And now 31 in the first half. Remarkable for a Delaware team looking to finish this season strong, get to 6 wins, and then scoreboard watch the rest of the day.
Right.
Looking for some help around the country.
Those first 2 drives were touchdown drives, were 9 plays each. That one only 6 plays. They're able to work the ball down the field 62 yards to get into the end zone. That's what Carty wants to see. He wants to see those big explosive plays, and he wants to see his offense moving it up and down the field fairly quickly.
Big one came from Kyrie Duplessis, who went 47 yards to set it up. A second away from the 2-minute timeout. Delaware's offense has looked strong. Delaware's defense has looked good at times. Just a couple
giving up those big plays.
Big chunks there.
Yep, absolutely.
UTEP waves forward, and so they'll get a play in before the 2-minute timeout. Interesting how UTEP can finish this first half, because they've gotten those X plays. They've gotten 64-49. if they don't move the sticks here, Delaware with 2 timeouts could add on. There's plenty of time left for that, so you got to be careful.
Yeah, these middle 4 are so important. Middle 8, I'm sorry. The last 4 minutes of the first half, the first 4 minutes of the second half, extremely important. UTEP got a score. Delaware came back, scored right away. How do you respond is a big question. Big sack there by this Delaware defense.
What a way to send it to the 2-minute timeout. You had a sack before that. You had a touchdown from Joe Silver, Delaware, in control in the first half. The Delaware native Noah Matthews with his first full sack of the season.
Yeah, Delaware native, went to Kentucky, played there the last 3 seasons, comes to Delaware. His first full sack of the season. You know he has to be excited.
Pass bobbled and incomplete, and that stops the clock on 3rd down and 16. Delaware with 2 timeouts remaining, and if you're UTEP, you're not in a good position now because you could get this ball back to Delaware with plenty of time to add to their total.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to maybe pooch punt it here. You can't imagine they're going to go for it. Oh, they got him to jump.
Delaware moved on 3rd and 16. Ball comes loose. Delaware got to it.
You get a free play. You don't want to see that happen. Your quarterback gets his arm pulled on a little bit. You hope Skylar Locklear is
offside.
okay.
Defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
You got exactly what you wanted. You do the hard count. You get Delaware to jump off sides. You're not able to protect your quarterback long enough.
So it's Hall 93 on the right side of your screen. You see some movement there. Hall playing in game number 55 of his career at Delaware. Remarkable amount of times that he's laced him up for UD. Still 3rd down and 11 after the penalty. Locklear rolling, pointing, throwing, Pollard intercepting.
For Delaware.
What a way to stay in bounds. Myson Pollard, a forced fumble and an interception in the 2nd quarter here from Newark.
We talked about how my son was being picked on a little bit earlier in this half. He's done an unbelievable job with that fumble and now going up and high pointing this ball. Doing a great job getting it into his stomach and completing that catch going to the ground. Again, the takeovers that we talked about early on, this Delaware defense continues to take the ball away. Delaware offense has to continue to hold on to the ball and not turn it over on their side. Keep on moving the ball up and down. Now they have 1:30 left. 2 timeouts, plenty of time if you're this Delaware offense. No need to rush.
Minicucci with 92 seconds. Throws high, nearly gave it right back. Spiller and LeBoy in the area. He threw it between the two of them.
Yeah, couldn't tell if he was trying to check it down there or LeBoy was coming behind on an in route. And you can see it looks like at that point he's probably trying to check it down. You wonder if the wind played a factor on that, but definitely an off-target throw there for Nick Minicucci.
Stratton Schufelt could have had an interception right back for the Miners. Instead, second down for Delaware. Minicucci under duress, lofts it a little too wide for Sean Wilson to hold on to. Wilson, leading receiver in the first half with 3 catches.
You wonder if the wind is having a little bit of a impact here. I could just hear it in my headphones as that play was going on. And you're trying to throw a little bit of a lob. You see the flags going here. They were ripping a little bit earlier today. But it looks like if he's throwing it that way to the sideline, probably right into the teeth of that wind.
Pressure coming again for Minicucci. And he has to throw on the run low to Wilson.
Again on that 3rd down, 3rd and long. This UTEP defense walking around. They bring a lot of guys right into the middle of this Delaware offensive line. Pretty good job picking them up. You can see you got 3 guys standing up coming in the A-gaps. Good job picking it up by Joe Silver. Good job stepping it up by Nick Minicucci, but no one down the field. But if you're the UTEP defense, that's exactly what you want to happen. You want to have that quarterback feel that pressure right at their chin, have to move around in the pocket a little bit more than maybe they have to. Get the feet off count a little bit, leads to a little bit of an off throw.
Nick Henry has some space on the return, running wide and chopped down at the 40-yard line.
It seemed like everyone thought it was a fair catch. Everyone kind of stopped when he caught the ball, and off he went. So good field position here. If you just kind of traded punts there, it looks like they gained a little bit of field position. 1:03 left, 2 timeouts. Obviously a running team here, the UTEP Miners, but what can they do in this end of half situation to get 20, 30 yards and set themselves up for a field goal? If they can do something quick, they can obviously go after the end zone, but first objective here is to get that 30 yards and set up for a field goal.
Locklear, play action, being chased by Bronya, and he avoids Gavin Mole to go out of bounds and stop the clock at 57 seconds. Locklear already 2 touchdown tosses today.
Locklear, a good job using his feet, steps up again, pressure right in his face, step up and get out of bounds. Don't take a hit. When you're in these 2-minute situations, you always want the first play to be a positive play. You picked up some yards there. Get the offense going in the right direction. Try to get something a little bit more on this snap.
Locklear again lofting deep and connecting. For the 3rd time today, UTEP with an X-play through the air, and now UTEP's in position to score before heading into the locker room.
Wandon Davis just running right past his defender. Looked like that was Colabodi that he ran past. Just an easy go route, great pitch and catch. Skylar Locklear doing a great job throwing the ball to the outside today.
Allen went for 35 yards, so throws of 64, 49, and 35 yards for Skylar Locklear to Schutz, Odom, and now David.
30 yards right there. You get into field goal range. Don't take a sack here is what's on the mind of the quarterback. don't take a sack, get some positive yardage. You still have 45 seconds, 2 timeouts. You're thinking touchdown, check down right here.
Ashton Emery had the big stats a week ago. Gets inside the red zone, and a timeout will be taken by Scotty Walden with 38 seconds left. Outside of those 3 pass plays that I mentioned.
Timeout, UTEP. They're second.
UTEP with 14 passing yards on the day.
But that is what this offense is. I think if you're the Delaware defense, you coming into the game, you're saying, hey, we gave up 263 yards versus Wake last week. We gave up 282 yards versus Liberty a few weeks ago. You don't want that to be the story of this week. And I think they obviously don't want to give up a bunch of big touchdowns, but I think they're willing to challenge their corners a little bit, leave them out on a little bit more of an island, and say, we're just going to stop the run. We're going to be gap sound up front, and that's going to be our main focus. And I think they've done a good job of that today. So Manny Rojas doing a great job coaching up his guys and getting them in a position to stop that run. And now you just have to lean on your corners and say, hey, corners, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to continue to lean on stopping the run. And we know that you guys are going to step up and cover a little bit better here at the end of this first half and into the second.
On third down, it's Locklear. Chop with his feet. Now Tuckett. They'll look to run for it. Stays in bounds, but does pick up enough to stop the clock momentarily. And a fresh set of downs for UTEP.
So the clock will stop, right? They'll reset the chains. You can call your play. You can either spike it, but you can also just throw it up to the end zone. You got press here on the short side.
Locklear stumbles, though. You don't want that. It was Trace Scott who grabbed him.
You're going to get up here and you're going to run another play. You got 25 seconds left, so you're going to hurry. But you don't need to do anything crazy. But that's the important. You don't want to take a sack there.
1 timeout left for UTEP. End zone. And that's a flag. Nate Evans grabbing on for dear life against Wanda Mae Davis.
Ball was inside there. Did not need to grab him, but Nate felt that he was a little bit lost out there. Obviously a lot of space in that part of the end zone and just held on and going to get called for PI here.
Ball be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
So you still have 1 timeout here. You have 9 seconds left. They're a running football team. I would not be surprised if UTEP takes a run on first down. You obviously want to try to get down quick. Then maybe you take a shot on second down, because if you get stopped on first down with a run, you can call a quick timeout.
Josh Schutz in the backfield. So is Ashton Emery.
Come on, defense!
Locklear will keep it himself, though, and throw on first down. And it's a touchdown for UTEP. Eric Willis, the recipient of Skylar Locklear's 3rd touchdown toss of the day. And the UTEP Miners make it closer as we head to the end of the first half.
Yeah, like we were saying, everyone's thinking run, run, run. This UTEP offense, good job faking that outside zone, throwing a little flat ball to Willis there, who takes it in for the end zone.
Injury timeout prior to the ball being spotted.
It's Merge Malumba who's down for Delaware. Merge is having a heck of a back end of this season, and 5 tackles in this game, 1.5 tackles for loss, and a pass breakup against the Miners today, but he is down. And what a job by UTEP to get the ball with 1 minute and 3 seconds left in the second quarter and get down the field and put points on the board.
I'm looking at the UTEP drive chart, though, and their drives have gone for 9 seconds. That was the first interception. 2 minutes, 1 minute 30, 2 minutes 29 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes 29 seconds, 36-second touchdown, 29-second, and now 1 minute to score there. So interestingly enough, we thought that they would be running the ball a lot, taking a lot of clock off, but so far it's been a lot of drives, a lot of points on the board, and not a lot of drives with 10 minutes taken off of the clock. But it's been a very exciting first half.
Yeah, you're minus 5 minutes in time of possession in the first half, yet you find yourself with an extra point here, only down by 10 points heading to the locker room. I think if you're Scotty Walden's group, you take that.
Absolutely, and that's the impact of explosives, right? It's amazing how it can shape the game the way it does. And when you look back on their half, yep, they're going to run it.
Going for two here. Not close there. Just trying stuff out last week of the season. If you're UTEP, or perhaps they saw something on film.
Maybe they saw something on film, but again, you're trying to find ways to get your guys excited. You're not playing for a lot here. And hey, let's do some crazy trick plays. The pump and go earlier that went for a big gain. You get some defensive guys, you stick them on offense. Maybe you run a little trick play off of that later in the game. And then you've been showing this muddle huddle, or whatever you want to call it, for extra points. And why not give it to one of the backup QBs and let him try to throw a little back shoulder fade?
I need the booklet that tells me about 2-point conversion math and when you go and when you don't, because I'm not exactly sure why you don't make this a 10-point game here. Maybe for some of the reasons we indicated.
I will make the argument that if you want to go for two, put your offense out there and don't get cute. But hey, that's why they pay these coaches the big bucks.
That's right. Scotty Walden, the head man, coming over from Austin Peay, where he led the Governors to a 9-3 record in the FCS playoffs in 2023, where he lost to Chattanooga in the playoffs, and one of the younger coaches in the country. Skip kick bobbled, and Delaware will be able to come out either one more play or just take it into the locker room. So if you're Delaware, you're up by 11. You probably feel like you should be up by a whole lot more at this point.
Yeah, I'm looking through the stats here, but they've given up 200 yards in the first half. Delaware has 250, right? So they're on target for 500 yards on offense. Obviously, they'd be happy with that. But I think they have some things they want to clean up on defense here, taking it into the second half.
Offenses look sharp, though. Nick Minicucci has a rushing touchdown. He's tossed one as well, and 27 on the bottom of your screen. Joe Silver has a rushing touchdown for Delaware. But UTEP scoring at the end of the first half to make this one a bit closer. That's how we got started, with Nick Minicucci into the end zone. Skylar Locklear had an answer, and we'll see who will have more answers in the second half. 31-20 at the break on ESPN+.
You're bringing flowers like a normal person. It's your father's favorite casserole.
Who even eats it anyways?
I've been meaning to tell you. Your father's alive.
What?
We figured out how to pay for school. Dad faked his death so his art would skyrocket in value.
He's been down there for months.
Had to lay low while I sold all the paintings.
Hi, babe. I told the kids.
Say hi.
Hi, Dad.
We're so happy you're alive. Or we could look at a few different savings options.
I've been dying to see some options.
The right money moves aren't as dramatic as you think.
This is going to be an awesome game, guys. I still can't believe you also bought a new Shell Brothers zone. After seeing yours, how could I not? True. Wait, I think we lost JD again. I'll go check the basement.
I'll go check upstairs.
Wow, tankless water heater. And PEX Plumbing, so efficient.
Oh yeah, that's a healthy filter.
Dude, what are you doing?
Bro, it's so fresh. You gotta check this out. That is fresh, no doubt.
Oh, that's okay, guys. I guess I'll watch the game by myself again.
Did you know Delaware has beautiful beaches, unique breweries?
At the half of Delaware Stadium, the Blue Hens lead 31-20. I'm Shaq Klatskin alongside Pat Devlin. And Pat, Delaware led by as many as 17 in the first half, but like UTEP does in each game this season, they continue to battle back.
Absolutely. If you're this Delaware offense, you want to continue to do exactly what you did this first half. If you're the Delaware defense, all you want to do is stop the explosives. You've done a really good job stopping the running game, but it's all about the explosives. If you're this UTEP offense, they need to find ways to continue to create these one-on-ones on the outside. And then Skylar Locklear, if he continues to put the ball on the money on these long throws, UTEP's going to be able to hang in this game.
This Delaware offense has looked unstoppable at times. What do they need to do in the second half to put some separation between these two teams?
Yeah, I think for the Delaware offense, if they put up another 31 in the second half, they're going to be very happy with that performance. On the defense, they need to find ways, maybe back off a little bit. If their corners feel like they can't stick with these UTEP wide receivers, maybe they back off a little bit and continue doing what they've been doing up front to stop this vaunted UTEP rush game.
All right, well, we are at the break in Newark, Delaware. We'll take another timeout. When we come back, we'll have first half stats and look at some first half highlights here on ESPN+.
How do you choose the best provider to care for a seriously ill loved one at home? Start with experts offering a full range of services for different stages, all the way to making life's final months more comfortable. Then choose local experience, like a provider who's been serving this region for more than 40 years. Also find experts focused on a caring mission instead of profit. It all adds up to only one choice: Delaware Hospice. Positively your best choice for care at home.
Oh no, the furnace is on the fridge again!
This time I'm calling the moon.
Wow, he's here already?
At your service! There you go! Mission accomplished! Our house is nice and warm again. Thanks, Moon Man.
You're awesome!
You're welcome! Just go to moonairace.com.
For out of the service, moonairace.com.
Before the 12 driver assist systems. Before the 7 passenger seating. The Airmatic adaptive suspension. And the predictive AI technology. It starts with the same simple philosophy: to deliver the world's greatest vehicles. The 7 passenger Mercedes-Benz GLS. Even standing still, it's moving forward.
Welcome back into Delaware Stadium. Let's take a look at the first half stats brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 313, and the National Electrical Contractors Association. Together, we power Delaware.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at these stats, 250 yards of offense for Delaware, 200 for UTEP. It's been a great offensive battle. You look at third downs coming into the game. Coach Carty talked about how they have not been as good on third downs as they've wanted to be, and that's continued to be true here if there's one thing they could point to of wanting to be better on, it's probably that third down conversion ratio. Okay job converting on fourth as well.
Those are the numbers. Let's see the pictures. Here's what it looked like. Sponsored by Highmark Blue Shield, the official healthcare insurance partner of University of Delaware Athletics and Recreation, because life.
Yeah, see Minicucci on this first drive, breaking a couple tackles, walking it into the end zone. And then the air show by Skylar Locklear begins. Long one to Kenny Odom to start off the game. Minicucci, nice easy flat throw here. Second touchdown for them. And then the turnover here bounces right into Gavin Moll's hands. He's able to take it into the end zone. Good job by Myson Pollard being all over the field in this first half. And then the long game continues for the Miners. Josh Schutz doing a good job just outrunning his defender, making a nice easy pitch and catch. Joe Silver back from a 2-game injury, able to get in the end zone, break a couple tackles. 51 points in this first half.
And Brandon Raymond was sprinting like he wanted to add more immediately to that, but he lost control of the football late. Ball popped loose, and UTEP got it.
All right, so you were looking at me when I was making this comment in the first half about when you jump over someone, it is very tough to hang on to that ball, and look what happens here. Raymond doing a great job. Explosive again, but he goes to jump. Oh, and that ball comes out because you're, for whatever reason, the elbow. You get the little turkey wing coming out of Thanksgiving here.
Well, now Delaware has turned the ball over on their first play of a half, and UTEP turned the ball over
during the
on
return.
Their
Holding.
first play.
Return team, number 20. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down for UTEP.
You did say it. With Brandon Raymond. Brandon Raymond's had a tough couple of weeks as a return man for Delaware. He couldn't field a kickoff against Wake Forest last week that led to the Demon Deacons recovering a kickoff, and now he fumbles it away to start the second half. So Delaware was going to try to add on to their 11-point lead, and now UTEP instead with the takeaway. A sidearm toss to Odom to get things started, and Delaware was +3 in the turnover category in the first half, and they start off not the way they wanted, that's for sure, in the second half. Kenny Odom, impressive, 55 catches coming into this ball game today. He's got 2 this afternoon, but he's got double the second amount of catches on the stat sheet for UTEP, whereas Delaware spreads it around. Kenny Odom gets the bulk of catches for this Miners team.
And you can see they're manufacturing ways for him to get the ball, right? Early on in this first drive of the second half, they want to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, and Kenny Odom is obviously one of those. The other one being Ashton Emery. You want to get him started earlier, make sure he touches it early as well. Not as productive. Again, when they go side to side, they are not as productive as when they're running that inside zone straight at you. UTEP now running someone on late. Looks like Jalen Brown coming on. Skylar Locklear changing up the play, changing the formation a little bit. 3 seconds on the game clock.
And now a delay of game. A lot happened on that play. Some substitutions. You saw the referee, Rory Bernard, who you're hearing from now.
5-yard penalty, third down.
He physically got in front of the quarterback. Prior to the snap.
You have to allow the defense the opportunity to sub. And so that ref is going to look at the head referee and say, when am I allowed to go? And make sure everyone's good. He gets out of the way. They snap it as quickly as they can. But it's just a matter of they ran someone on late, and that's what caused the chaos in general. And you go from a 3rd and 9 to a 3rd and 14, and it's only 5 yards, but it makes a big difference, especially when you're a team like UTEP.
Locklear on 3rd down, backpedaling, being chased, and just has to dump it off. As multiple black jerseys.
Incomplete pass. It's 4th down.
Rory Bernard doing a little play-by-play there. He just has to dump it off. You see Yelbert Matthews and Hunter all in his grill.
Yeah, trying to set up a screen, but again, some of these guys, we mentioned Jack Hall early on, these 6-year seniors, they've seen everything. And you wonder if this is a pooch punt situation here. They're going to try to draw them off sides.
Malachi Nelson has actually done that twice as a quarterback for UTEP this season. And you see Manny Rojas, he was kicking, making a kicking gesture to Delaware. Perfectly executed. Manny Rojas on the sideline making the gesture of watch for that pooch punt. And that's exactly what happened. Delaware going to be pinned back at their 1-yard line when we come back. A turnover for Delaware, but it doesn't cost them anything. They'll have 99 yards to go when we return.
How do you choose the best provider to care for a seriously ill loved one at home? Start with experts offering a full range of services for different stages, all the way to making life's final months more comfortable. Then choose local experience, like a provider who's been serving this region for more than 40 years. Also find experts focused on a caring mission instead of profit. It all adds up to only one choice: Delaware Hospice. Positively your best choice for care at home.
Oh no, the furnace is on the fritz again.
This time I'm calling the moon.
Wow, he's here already?
At your service. There you go. Mission accomplished. Our house is nice and warm again. Thanks, Moon Man.
You're awesome.
You're welcome. Just go to moonairinc.com. For out of this world service, moonairinc.com.
Before the 12 driver assist systems, before the 7 passenger seating, the Airmatic adaptive suspension, and the predictive AI technology, it starts with the same simple philosophy: to deliver the world's greatest vehicles. The 7-passenger Mercedes-Benz GLS. Even standing still, it's moving forward.
Don't see this every day.
No, but I did this when I was in high school once, and you see these two guys, the up backs. I caught the snap, and I punted it right into the back of one. So good job on execution on this. Now let's keep an eye on this. Did it hit Kenny Odom? No, it stayed away from him. We were wondering in the booth if it hit Kenny Odom as he was going to down it, but good job staying away from it until it was on the 1-yard line. Now you give Delaware, you mentioned 99 yards to have to travel here if they want to get it into the end zone. But in this backed up situation, you want to get your lineman heels out of the end zone first and foremost. Sometimes we just do a QB sneak here on the first play just to get a couple yards. But then the goal is 2 first downs coming out of a backed up situation like this.
And Ellison, did he get out of the end zone?
Barely.
Just enough.
And that's why in those situations you don't go into shotgun and you don't hand it off, because you're just trying to get a little bit of push, right? Just try to get your heels out of the end zone. Because even in a rush like that, right, you're only losing half a yard on the rush, but it almost turns into 2 points for UTEP.
If this wasn't such a tight spot for Delaware right now, I would want to hear more about your short-lived career as a punter. Delaware's got to get some space. As you said, Pat, nearly a safety on the first snap after the pooch punt. And Minicucci, he's so good at just putting his shoulders down, putting his head down, and picking up a few yards.
Yeah, and you see he doesn't get hit square very often. He does a good job lunging forward here. You see 2 UTEP defenders. He just sneaks right in between the 2 of them. He's not trying to get 8 yards. He's trying to get 4. Dive forward. Give yourself a couple yards to run a positive 3rd down play. And if you don't get any yards here, now you have enough yards to give your punter the full distance to be able to stand in the back of the end zone and punt the ball away as well. So good execution on that 2nd down play.
They're looking for 7, and they'll get it. Sean Wilson on the far side of the field. There's some space if you're Delaware. There is a flag, though, and it might be coming back. It's the 10th penalty of the ball game.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. It's third down.
That's a sixth against Delaware.
Yeah, that's a lot of penalties for Delaware. We'll see who's getting downfield here. Yeah, they're just run blocking, right? So you wonder if that was an RPO concept and he was able to hand the ball off if he counted the numbers and the numbers told him to do so. But obviously in a pass play, you're not allowed to send your offensive lineman downfield, even when you're running a bootleg. So that gets to the discipline of this Delaware team. And last couple weeks, you've seen a couple games where they have had more penalties than they had earlier in the year.
From the 2-yard line, Minicucci looking for a flag, gets one. It's going to be TJ Tillman, true freshman from
Pass
Amarillo,
interference.
Texas.
Defense, number 13. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, TJ Tillman holding on a little bit there, some hand fighting. Looked like that ball was a little bit long by Minicucci, but still you just see the jersey pull, little hand fighting. You're going to get that call a lot of times. Good job putting the ball out there in the field of play to give your guy a chance. And worst, second best option, I guess, is to get that penalty.
And Tillman, he's been playing more recently. All of his tackles have come over the last 2 games. Only a freshman. Big tackle there, though, from Cody Lowe, the redshirt junior, transfer from West Florida, where he was a Division II star the last few seasons. Brings down the Delaware runner.
Good tackle there by Lowe, but really good job by Nick Minicucci catching the snap. Look how high it is to the right. That's a pretty tough catch there. Good job catching it, getting it in the belly of Viron Ellison, but now you're setting up a 2nd and 13. Looking to get 6 or 7 on this play. You don't need to get a first down, get it all back here.
Here's Nick. Like you said, just trying to get a chunk. Jake Ball, the sure-handed senior, gets him past the 20.
Yep, now let's see what this UTEP defense does here. This is one of those third downs where you might see him walk around a little bit, bring an exotic blitz. Can this Delaware offensive line, which has seen a lot of blitzes, they have a lot of experience, can they identify who they need to identify to be able to pick up this crazy look that UTEP is about to give them?
Delaware just 1 of 7 on third down against the 5th best third down defense in the country. The other 4 teams, Texas A&M, Indiana, Virginia, and Ohio State. On third down here, Fall catches the ball but doesn't get to the stick.
Just one of those. He's being friendly to the quarterback. He's coming back to the ball, but as a quarterback, you're just like, get to the sticks, right? Get to the sticks. Good job getting the ball out of your hands. They got 1 first down, didn't get 2 first downs, so probably not what the coaches would call a productive drive there, but they got out of the back of the end zone and they're able to punt it away here.
Ball up to 30 catches on the season after that one. But Brennan Locke will come into the ball game and punt this one back to UTEP. Henry fields it cleanly. Down he goes. Dropped immediately as McKinley Daniels in on the tackle. That'll send us to a timeout, but watch this one more time. Giving it all on special teams. One team said hello to Conference USA this season. One team saying goodbye. UTEP announced back in October of 2024 they will be joining the Mountain West Conference, joining some historic rivals out west. This is the final Conference USA game for UTEP. And trying to end on a high note is Torek Goins, the redshirt freshman from Texas, who picks up a first down there. Another penalty in this ball game. It looks like maybe something late in the play, hands to the face possibly against Delaware. Gavin Mole came over to shove him out.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 35. 15-yard penalty is added to the end of the run. It's first down.
And what a journey UTEP has been on, and Conference USA has been on. Their first game, UTEP, was against Houston in 2005. They ended against Delaware in 2025. 49 and 114 record all time in Conference USA. Look for more success heading to the Mountain West. Delaware's penalties helping UTEP find some success. 15-yard variety that time on the face mask. But then Gavin Mole, who has a touchdown earlier today, comes right in and makes the tackle after getting called for the penalty.
Yeah, a lot of motion here. Kind of looked like they were going to do a reverse. Gavin Mole doing a good job getting in, making a stop there in the backfield.
Locklear steps up. It's Odom again. Matthews trying to track him down. Cannot. Odom stays in bounds and gets all the way down to the 15. Kenny Odom with a nice run after catch.
And again, finding ways to get Kenny Odom the ball. You see him, he's lined up in the backfield this time, slips out on kind of a bootleg look. And you can just see the speed of Kenny Odom and why they try to get him the ball as much as they can.
A sidearm toss as UTEP continues to move quickly. And inside the 5, it's Josh Schutz. So UTEP feeling confident on this drive offensively. They are moving with tempo. First and goal from the 5. Emery gets back to the line of scrimmage.
And again, this Delaware defense doing a pretty good job against the runs, but it's those passes off of the run game that are really giving this Delaware defense trouble. And now you see Skylar Locklear trying to move quickly, signaling to his guys on the outside, doing a really good job on this drive, mixing things up and giving Delaware a lot of different looks to handle.
Only 34 yards on the ground for UTEP. This is a team that we talked about stopping the run coming into this ball game because of the 181 put up by Emery a week ago, but it's been Locklear with 3 passing touchdowns. And now the play blown dead before second and goal.
False start, offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty, it's second down.
That's a penalty that really hurts you if you're UTEP. You're second and goal on the 5-yard line. That's going to move you back to the 10, but you got a lot. You can probably give it 3 shots into the end zone from there on the ground if you want to do it that way. They've obviously had a lot of success passing the ball as well. But now you're 10 yards away from the end zone. You're not exactly now in a run-it-only type of setup here. So again, it gets back to that discipline of UTEP that they were having trouble with most of the season.
Emery running diagonally, brought down for no gain, maybe a loss of 1. Keyshawn Hunter in the mix. So was Colin Gallagher.
You're down by 11 here. Kicking the field goal gets you to 8. I think you're happy kicking the field goal to here. But if I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm running a play that is a touchdown to check down type of play for this offense. You see the running back, Ashton Emery, starting on the outside. That's a man zone indicator. You know that Delaware's playing zone here.
Flag thrown. Ball thrown and out of bounds. And it's going to go against UTEP. Rory Bernard.
Illegal
talking
formation.
with Jack Hall.
Offense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is third down.
I think it's fourth down. And it is. And so they will bring in the field goal kicking unit. Tanner Cragun is 5 of 7 on the season. 38 is his long. This is going to be from 29. Noah Bonsford will hold. And we've got ourselves a one-score game. 31-23 as the last two scores belong to the UTEP Miners on the road here in Newark.
This is going to be an awesome game, guys. I still can't believe you also bought a new Shell Brothers zone. After seeing yours, how could I not? True. Wait, I think we lost JD again. I'll go check the basement.
I'll go check upstairs.
Wow, tankless water heater. And PEX Plumbing, so efficient. Oh yeah, that's a healthy filter.
Dude, what are you doing?
Bro, it's so fresh. You gotta check this out. That is fresh, no doubt.
Oh, that's okay, guys. I guess I'll watch the game by myself again.
We got a tarps off situation here at Delaware Stadium. They're braver than I am.
I was going to say, it looks just like the booth. What do you mean?
It's a live look at the booth here. No, I will say we have not had jackets on during the broadcast. That says something. Those guys have nothing on though, at least up top.
I'm proud of us. We left the window open today.
That's true.
We're tough football guys,
cold.
aren't we?
Talking to Coach Carty earlier in the week, he said, I wish it was a little bit colder.
Right.
Because not that he likes the cold weather, but these guys are coming from Texas where it's 70 degrees out on campus at UTEP. But unbothered, at least on offense, UTEP, they put up nearly 250 yards of offense, and they've scored a touchdown, a field goal to make this game a bit closer. It's only a one-score game. Delaware scored 31 points in the first half for the first time since 2024 against Maine, and have yet to score here in the third quarter.
Well, received the kickoff, turned it over on that kickoff, and then backed up for drive number 2 here in the second half. So this is the first real drive that this Delaware offense has gotten, and they obviously want to get on track here and try to put some points on the board because the momentum is strongly on the UTEP side of the ball now.
Minicucci changing directions, finds Kyrie Duplessis with some running room, and I like that play design from Ryan Carty.
Wow, there was a wall of Delaware offensive linemen out there, and a good job by that UTEP defender to take on all four and really usher Duplessis out to the sideline. Let's see if we can get a number on that. That is an unbelievable play on defense to get him out of bounds by Solo Barnes.
Direct snap, and now a handoff to Nick Minicucci. Ryan Carty getting creative. Minicucci bombing it to Jake Thaw, who's under it, spinning, staying up. What a score by Delaware!
The creativity that you've seen from this offense all year long. I'm not sure you've seen anything that creative with Minicucci playing the running back position, we'll call it, starting in the slot, coming in motion, long developing play as Thaw Comes from the right side of the field, sneaks across to the left, and then tries to go up the sideline. Minicucci doing a little whirly bird, throwing that ball about 50 yards in the air. Jake Thaw doing a great job breaking a tackle, getting his way into the end zone. Those are the explosives that Coach Carty really wants to get going in this offense, and doing a great job of manufacturing an explosive there.
So Delaware answers, as you said, Pat, with an X-play of their own. And let's watch it again.
Ellison takes the handoff, Minicucci gets it, and then whirls around, does a half boot, looks back the other way. All that is meant just to give enough time for the defense to flow all the way to the right. Jake Thaw's got to take his time, working his way across the field, and then he took it vertical. And all of that, it's like a dance, having all those moving pieces at the right tempo, the right time. You know, it takes some time. You see Carty smirking on the sidelines. That's probably one of those that they've been practicing since spring, and it probably hasn't worked against their own defense for probably about 8 weeks. But they finally pull it out against a new opponent. Good execution all around. Sometimes it's tough. You have the running back calling the snap. You got to make sure that's all timed up. But it all worked out for that Delaware offense on that play.
Love to see the smile on Coach Carty's face. He is so creative. He's such a good play caller. And what a dynamic offense he has here at Delaware. Second in Conference USA and year number one, over 400 yards per game on the year. That pass got him up to 329. And more importantly, it made it a two-score game once again. Good return here for UTEP. Out to the 40-yard line. Nick Minicucci now 21 touchdown tosses on the season and 10 rushing touchdowns. He's the first quarterback for Delaware with 10 rushing touchdowns since Bill Vergantino in 1992. So he's running the ball and scoring and putting up huge numbers through the air as well. What a season Nick Minicucci has had. He's up to 234 yards through the air, which as it stands now would make him the single season record holder for passing yards per game in Delaware history. Flea flicker, Locklear. Almost had another one for UTEP.
Yeah, you're talking about Nick Minicucci, but Skylar Locklear, 10 of 19, 208 yards. He's got 3 touchdowns on the day, also 2 interceptions, but this is what he's been able to do. He's been able to connect on these sideline throws. Didn't have a ton of time, had some pressure in his face. Good job putting the ball up on the sideline, but Wadam Davis just not able to come down with it.
I'm going to age myself here, but flea flicker was the most fun play to call in Tecmo Super Bowl back in the day on Nintendo.
Oh boy.
And an interception. Another takeaway for the Delaware defense. This time it's Nate Evans on senior day. He gets a pick.
Yeah, it's one of those you look up at the flag and you wonder if the wind had something to do with that one. Certainly got away from Skylar Locklear. That's one of those inside hitch routes that's probably a run play, and you just think to yourself, I have access there to Kenny Odom, a guy who we've been trying to target all day, and ball just slips out of the hand or goes a little bit high, and Nate Evans is there to step under it. And another turnover for this Delaware defense, putting this Delaware offense in the opportunity to have another drive that starts on the other side of the field for them.
And if you're Manny Rojas, who's down on the field, you're thrilled at all the takeaways. Joe Silver gonna bust this one open inside the 10, puts Delaware in position.
And there's an X play in the run game. Again, they've had some throughout the course of the year, but Coach Carty talks about wanting more. You have a sudden change situation where you get the interception, the momentum, and the energy is high. You want to have something like that where you can hand the ball off in an inside zone, break it to a 30-plus yard gain to get you into the red zone, and now we see some more Carty creativity here as they line up inside the 10.
Minicucci, 1 rushing touchdown. Not that time. Stopped at the 8-yard line. I was the same for Manny Rojas, though. Only 10 turnovers gained on the season coming to this one. Four today. He'll take it, though.
It's about momentum, right? Who knows what's going to happen with the bowl situation, but if this is the last game of the season, you want to have these things, right, where you're moving the ball on offense, you're turning the ball over on defense. Those kind of things are really important to take into the offseason.
And Akuchi gets it closer to the 5. Delaware wants to punch this one in. I don't know if we're going to see the field goal unit if they don't get it on third down here. The momentum carrying Delaware after the interception. They want to put some distance on the scoreboard.
Again, this Delaware offense, especially in the deep red zone, they like to run a lot of motions, a lot of misdirection. We'll see if they do anything special here.
Joe Silver got him there. He won't get into the end zone for the second time today. We'll see if I was right or if Nate Reed comes onto the field.
Well, he got a couple extra yards there, right? So now you're talking about a fourth and 3 from the 3.
UTEP player is down, giving Delaware a little extra time to think about it.
And now you do get kind of one of those free timeouts, right? And it's a 4th and 3. You get the opportunity to think about it a little bit. But then also, if you do want to do something crazy with the motions and the shifts, it gives you some time to talk about it with the guys.
Joe Silver had not played since the Louisiana Tech contest. Came in today, back from injury, 7 carries, 64 yards, had a 33-yard run to set up Delaware in the red zone. That's K.D. Johnson, the redshirt senior, all-conference, honorable mention a season ago. 55 tackles on the year, huge part of what UTEP does defensively.
I think the big part about Joe Silver's day is that 9-yard average per carry, right? They haven't had a ton of those big shot plays, and the way it happens in the running game is you get 2, you get 3, you get 5, and then you break one for 30. And they just haven't had a ton of that this season, and obviously with a 9-yard average, that's exactly what Joe Silver's been able to do today.
Here we are going to bring in Nate Reed. Reed for a 20-yard try. It's as close as we've seen Nate all season long. Bitko will snap, Locke will hold, Reed will send that one into the parking lot. Delaware leads now 41-23. Couple of scores after UTEP got within 8.
And if you're this UTEP offense, momentum is on the side of Delaware. Obviously, you can't turn the ball over. That's been a big source of momentum for this Delaware offense and the Delaware team in general. But you're still not going to change who you are at this point. You're still going to try to run the ball and then try to take some deep shots when the opportunity presents itself. And you got to have a couple in this half if you want to try to stick into it, right? They'd had 3 in the first half, none so far in the second. They need to find a way to manufacture those shot plays while staying inside of their offense and doing what they do best.
Delaware trying to get to 6 wins. We talked about it. If they do get to 6 wins, they'll need some help around the country. If not enough teams win 6 games, then it's possible for Missouri State and Delaware to get invited to a bowl game if they get to 6 wins. A couple finals as Houston beat Baylor. Baylor was a 5-win team, and Louisville beat Kentucky. Kentucky being the 5-win team. So both those go Delaware's way.
Kansas State beat Colorado, which is unfavorable to Delaware's chances. And then it looks like BYU is going to pull out a win versus UCF, which would be favorable. So you got 3 out of 6 going in Delaware's way so far.
Yeah, Delaware needs 6 of the 11 games that include 5-win teams to go their way. And off to a good start. Colorado, after all Delaware did for them in the beginning of the season, couldn't help out the Hens at the end of the year. But it looks like Kentucky will fall short of 6, so will Baylor, and so will UCF. And Delaware, a ways to go, but they've built a lead back up here in the third quarter as UTEP scored on a touchdown, to end the second quarter, and then to start the third quarter, a field goal for UTEP, and then Delaware answered with a touchdown and a field goal of their own.
Absolutely. Delaware's done a good job coming out in this third quarter, finding some points. Obviously, it helps when UTEP turns the ball over. UTEP just now in the mode. It feels like get Kenny Odom the ball as much as they possibly can. Good things happen when you get him the ball. And Delaware has done a good job in the middle of the field stopping Ashton Emery and this really good run offense.
6 catches on the day for Odom. And now Wandemi Davis with some speed after the spin, little hesitation, and another X play for UTEP.
That's exactly what we talked about, those explosive plays. They ran up in the same formation twice in a row. The first time they threw it out to Kenny Odom on a little screen. They're just 4-by-1. First time they throw a little screen out to Kenny Odom. Run the same play. Keep that four-person 4-by-1 into the boundary. You have a lot of space to the high side of the field in Wandem Davis. And he just does a good job running away from everyone. And an unbelievable job tiptoeing down the sideline. And then they're going to try to go for 2 here to get it to a 10-point game.
A 68-yard score. Locklear has a man free. They convert this time on the 2-point try. And UTEP has been the case all year long, just will not go away. Jalen Brown with the 2-point try there. It is back to 10 points in this ball game. You see redshirt freshman Jalen Brown with the catch there. Skylar Locklear, 4 touchdown passes. He can't be pleased. That's Rojas, the defensive coordinator for Delaware. He's feeling a little bit better right now. Scotty Walden, the head man of UTEP. You're looking at UTEP, and you've got touchdown passes of 49 yards to get things started, 64 yards to shoot in the second quarter, 68 yards a moment ago to Wandemi Davis. Davis leads the team with now 6 touchdown grabs on the year. And Delaware continues to struggle with allowing huge plays defensively. Here's Brandon Raymond, who coughed the ball up on a return to start the third quarter, holds onto it this time and gets out to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, he had the turnover, which you never want, but you can just see he's really explosive out there returning some kicks. Doing a good job holding on to the ball that time.
So with only a minute left to go in the third quarter, every time Delaware feels like they've gotten just
right.
enough separation, UTEP strikes quickly. And you, again, put the pressure on the offense. To the near side, Sean Wilson, another grab. Wilson, coming in this ball game, had 408 yards receiving our last 4 games. 3 times he went over 100 yards in that span.
It's good. Again, they throw it a lot, but they also spread it around a lot. And Sean Wilson is a big part of what this offense does. And again, it's just good to see you have access out there. It's something like one of the first things I learned about playing quarterback. When you see access, just throw it out there in space. Good things can happen.
Good defense that time, knocking away. That was 18 on 18 as Justin Content with his 6th pass breakup of the season. Best on the team in that category.
Yeah, good physical corner play here. Again, one-on-one. Instead of a hitch, you're throwing a fade ball. Justin Content just doing a great job of looking back for the ball, playing aggressive, getting a hand up there and getting a pass breakup.
On the ground this time. It's Ellison. Stiff arm gives him a couple extra yards inside the 40.
Byron Ellison just picking his way through this defense and then doing a great job finishing that run, like you mentioned, Scott, doing a little stiff arm at the end there to get a couple extra yards. And it looks like they'll take this down into the fourth quarter.
That's the end of the third quarter.
Delaware up by 10, looking for win number 6. And we've got 15 minutes left to go from Delaware Stadium. Blue Hens fans bundled up. They're hoping their squad can wrap up their 6th win of the season as we head into the 4th quarter of action with Byron Ellison making it to the 36-yard line. And Pat, a lot of offense, a lot of big plays in this game so far, and a lot of points between Delaware and UTEP.
Yeah, coming off of Thanksgiving, I'm thankful we get to call these games, man. This is a lot of fun, a lot of offense. 400 yards for Delaware, 320 for UTEP. Ton of fun. We were looking through the stat sheet, and Delaware's still only 1 of 9 on 3rd down, but Cardi talks so much about avoiding 3rd down. They've been able to do that.
Minicucci stumbles. Trying to put his foot in the turf and cut up the field.
I asked him to go out and look like me today, so he decided.
Is that what it was?
He decided to do that, so good job.
I'm sure you had a scramble or two in your career.
Yeah, let the green monster get me every once in a while too. So, but no, they've had some trouble on 3rd down, but they've been just so explosive with the X plays. 13 yards per completion. They've been able to run it. They're 5 of 5 in the red zone.
Here's another 3rd down. And nearly an interception.
What they hadn't done is turn the ball over.
That was Dante Thompson who got a hand on it.
They're in that 4th and medium. It looks like they're going to bring on the punt team here, being up by 10. I think that's probably the right call.
And Delaware of 10 on 3rd down today. Yeah. UTEP is so good. It just doesn't match the record. They're 2-9 overall on the year. And I mentioned they're 5th in the nation in 3rd down defense. The number 3 team in the college football playoffs, the number 2 team, number 18 team, and number 1 team go 1 through 4. And then you have UTEP, who's 2-9. Block trying to place this one inside the 10. We'll see it where they mark it. It'll be at the 10-yard line. And so when we come back, UTEP with a chance to get even closer here in the 4th.
Hi, how are you?
Nick Minicucci.
Can we get extra Chick-fil-A sauce, please?
No, bro. Get the sweet and spicy sriracha.
All right, sweet and spicy sriracha.
Polynesian. Get the Polynesian.
Extra Polynesian.
They call this our weekly team meeting.
Some ranch.
Get some ranch, too. I'm sorry about that.
Wait, can we add something else to the
They're always yelling orders like it's a 2-minute drill.
What you want?
Can we get the kale salad?
We've been training for this all week. Nothing beats partnering with Chick-fil-A and being able to take care of my guys who protect me each and every week.
Could you describe the quarterback's performance tonight?
Elite leadership.
And what made the difference out there?
And elite sauce distribution.
At Capriati's, we're officially in our ranch era. Introducing the new Chicken Bacon Ranch. For the first time ever, we're serving up creamy, tangy ranch and not holding back. We're talking 25% more chicken, melty white American cheese, cool, creamy ranch topped with crispy bacon, lettuce, and tomato. This sandwich will make all your ranch dreams come true. But it's here for a good time, not a long time. So try the new Chicken Bacon Ranch. Order now, only at Capriati's.
Take a look at the upcoming schedule, sponsored by Dart. Download the Dart Transit app today. This is next season for Delaware. A couple games on the schedule. Vanderbilt, big season for them. Delaware will head to Tennessee next season. The Hens hoping, though, that perhaps they have one more game in them for 2025. Getting the 6 wins today would perhaps allow for a waiver to play in a bowl game later on this season. But UTEP trying to not allow Delaware to get that 6th win. They have been fighting, and a recent touchdown of 68 yards last time that UTEP had the ball has made this just a 10-point lead for the Hens. Locklear, he's thrown 4 touchdowns in this ball game. Also 3 interceptions, though.
Yeah,
he throws it away there.
That's what really hurts any offense, but specifically today. you look at his stat line, and he's just been so unbelievable with the explosives.
Number 32, blow to the helmet. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Roughing the passer, just a blow to the helmet. That's just one of those tough plays. It's an effort foul. Coach Carty talked about having a couple of those effort-type penalties. Obviously, they get coached really hard now about where they're placing their helmet when they're hitting anyone, but especially the quarterback. That goes against Delaware.
It's their 8th penalty against Delaware. Merge Malumba was called for the penalty there. Delaware averaged about 4 penalties per game over the first 8 weeks of this season. And then against Louisiana Tech and Sam Houston, they had 20 penalties for 195 yards in those 2 games. Didn't have quite as many against Wake Forest, but now 8 for 83 here.
Just tough to win, right? When you're giving up free first downs, when you're putting yourself behind the chains.
Odom with a nice snag, runs into Keyshawn Hunter though, as Odom gets catch number 6 on the ball game. 61 on the season for Kenny Odom, a second-team All-Conference USA performer a year ago.
Good job, good pursuit back to the ball. You see a lot of Delaware blue hen hats to the ball there. Just a quick little screen. But still, you need guys to run to the ball every single snap, and you see them doing that now here in the beginning of the 4th quarter.
Pressure coming on Locklear. No Matthews. James Yelbert combined for a huge 3rd down stop.
You see Noah Matthews and James Yelbert just coming around the outside here. Yelbert doing a great job with the speed rush. You know, Skylar Locklear could feel that pressure. Instead of stepping up, tried to step to the right. Noah Matthews is right there to pick up a pretty easy sack.
Second time Noah Matthews has gotten the quarterback today. First one for James Yelbert. And Jake Thal has a 51-yard touchdown on the day, back to return a punt. He gets out of the way of it. And UTEP will down the football. Delaware's offense will come back on the field thanks to this big-time sandwich of a sack between Yelbert and Matthews. Nick Minicucci on the last series passed Matt Nagy for second all-time pass yards in a season for Delaware. He'll look to add on to his total on this drive here in the fourth quarter. And Duplessis helps him out. Getting a first down grab across the 45-yard line. Joe Flacco holds the record with 4,263 yards back at 2007. Earlier this season, Nick Minicucci threw for 422 yards at Jacksonville State. He was the first Blue Hens quarterback to throw for 400 yards in a game since a guy named Pat Devlin did it.
How about
in
it?
2009.
How about it?
Remember that ball game?
Nova?
Against Nova?
Was that Nova, yeah.
Threw 407 yards in that game. Not bad.
Did we win?
I didn't write that part down. I didn't put that in the notes. Delaware did struggle with the Villanova rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, because that was typically the last game of the season, Delaware has not won a final regular season game that is in this stadium since Ryan Carty played on the team in 2004.
Wow.
That's the last time a regular season finale that has been at Delaware Stadium has been won by the Blue Hens. Delaware hasn't won their regular season finale at all since 2015 at Elam. Minicucci trying to change that. Oh, can't reach it.
Yeah, Minicucci's had a really good day, and that's one that he's going to want back. Jake Thaw running a good through route, crossing route. Maybe see him push up, create some separation as he comes across here. Just off target by Nick Minicucci. This is a position that this offense loves to be in, right around the 50-yard line. They love to take shots. They got 3rd and 2 here. You wonder if Coach Carty's thinking get the first down or maybe take a shot down the field.
3rd down and 2. Delaware, 1 of 10 on 3rd down. 2 of 11 as Kyrie Duplessis gets Delaware inside the red zone.
Great job by this offensive line. You never know what's going to come on 3rd down when you're playing against this UTEP defense. They don't bring any crazy pressure. The offensive line picks it up well. Nick Minicucci throwing a strike to Kyrie Duplessis. Like you mentioned, only the 2nd 3rd down conversion on the day comes at a critical time when they're looking to extend this lead.
Now Scott Moore will go in motion for Minicucci with a fresh set of downs, and it's Byron Ellison. Good to see Katie Johnson back in the ballgame. He left earlier. He makes the stop there.
A little bit of extracurriculars down there. No flag thrown. Again, Minicucci maybe take a read on that. He could probably pull that ball if that look comes around again. I feel like this drive's been taking too long. It's over 2 minutes.
Certainly for UTEP, they have been unable to sustain drives. All their scores have come quickly. Donovan Lewis with a grab. Delaware inside the 10 now. The time of possession difference in this ball game, over 5 minutes. Plus for Delaware.
Just a lot of drives. No one has really sustained a drive, but with the 72 points scored so far, it's just been a ton of fun to watch. You've had turnovers that have led to some of that short duration as far as time of possession goes, but overall a great offensive matchup.
Nick Minicucci sends Lewis in motion. End zone. And Kyrie Duplessis got tangled with TJ Tillman.
It didn't look like Duplessis was calling for a penalty there. That's one of those was thrown maybe a little bit too far to the inside. Duplessis tries to jump around his defender. Just not able to here at the end. And it doesn't look like there's any holding there. Good job by TJ Tillman, who you said stepped into the role later in the season here. Has done a nice job out there on an island covering Delaware's top wide receiving threat.
Here's Minicucci, end zone, touchdown, season high in points for the Delaware Blue Hens.
Talk about the creativity of this offense in the red zone. They just have a mesh concept where you have a couple guys running under routes from one side of the field to the other. And you'll see a man on the ground, Cody Lowe there. He actually ran into his own defender, which enabled Jake Thaw, who's coming across the field, to be wide open. Easy pitch and catch for Nick Minicucci, putting another touchdown on the board. Delaware offense.
And a 2-touchdown day for Jake Thaw. Reed's had a busy day with PATs. He hasn't missed, and Jake Thaw on senior day gets in the end zone twice. You're happy for Jake Thaw, who's a leader on and off the field. He got banged up earlier this season, stalled his senior campaign a bit. Only 11 catches over the last 6 games that he's played, but 5 catches today for 72 yards, 2 touchdowns, and doesn't get better than Jake off the field as well, as he was nominated for the Jason Witten Man of the Year Award, one of 67 nationally. It's a prestigious award, and for those that demonstrate leadership, integrity, sportsmanship on and off the field. And so for Jake Thaw to transfer in here from Michigan, didn't have to change helmets except for today when they go all black. Just a guy that you want representing your program, and a great way to end his career here at Delaware.
Yeah, the ups and downs of just being a college athlete or an athlete at any level, honestly. It's just amazing to watch him come in from Michigan, winning a national championship, playing here, getting a lot of receptions, not getting a lot of targets, being injured, and then showing up big today is just a testament to all the work that he does on and off the field.
And now his second touchdown puts Delaware up by 17, but Delaware's been here before in this ball game where you're starting to feel a little comfortable, and then very quickly Skylar Locklear is able to shoot one out for 65 yards. And
Grounding. There was a receiver in the area. It's third down.
There's a player down, and that's
Mark Robinson.
Offensive lineman. Yeah, Mark Robinson is down.
Timeout for an injured player.
But Delaware's been up by 17. They've been up by 18, now 17 again. And each time UTEP has been able to get down the field quickly and give a little not so fast, my friends, to the Blue Hens, who put up 48 points, 31 in the first half. 44 was the season high. It took overtime to get that against UConn earlier in the season. Mark Robinson down, a sophomore left tackle. And for Scotty Walden's team, you know, how many times have we said redshirt freshman, true freshman,
right.
sophomore? There are a lot of young players on this team, and there is some potential as they move to the Mountain West.
And talk about the grit of this team a little bit, too. I mean, just the fact that they don't have a lot to play for today, and they're still putting up, you know, the kind of pressure that they have on this Delaware team has been really impressive. There's no quit on this team. They're still running the ball hard, and they're playing really, really well today and playing maybe a little bit of a different game than they have the rest of the season.
It's like Jake Riggs is going to come in. And Locklear.
It's the tush push.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was the tush push, if we're calling it a QB keeper or sneak. Hurts had it ripped away yesterday.
Yeah.
With a tush push.
Very un-tush push-like, but it's
Yeah,
bound to
there you go.
happen
You
over
can
the
see it.
hundreds. They're already pushing him before he even gets the ball. That's not legal.
That was Tyler Scott, I believe, coming in for the second time in offense to give a shove to his
That
quarterback.
call has no shoe.
Locklear finds Shoots. Is that what that item was?
Yeah.
At the 40-yard line?
Now Yelbert's bringing it back onto the field.
Jack Hall, who's over talking with Manny Rojas now, he would play with one shoe. He'd play with no shoes. If you said he could go out there without a helmet, I think he would do so. One of the toughest players to don a Delaware jersey for
Please
Manny
reset
Rojas'
the game
defense.
clock to 6 minutes, 54 seconds.
I love seeing Manny down on the field. You know, just the energy that he brings, the presence, getting into it with his guys every once in a while.
He's got to love it, too. He was up top to start the season. You only keep him away for so long. The energy for Manny Rojas, who was a heck of a linebacker himself at Liberty University in his playing days.
If he goes back up to the booth, maybe we can get a camera on him during the game. We'll talk to the production group.
I don't know if anyone will watch our broadcast if they had a live stream of Manny Rojas during the game going on. Underhanded pitch. Getting creative, Skylar Locklear finds Ashton Emery. Obviously, Emery coming off of a 181-yard day, most yards on the ground since Aaron Jones for UTEP, now a member of the Minnesota Vikings. But he hasn't been able to get it going very much today for UTEP. Locklear has. There's Willis. He's got a touchdown to his name today and a 9-yard chunk there in the Delaware territory.
Yeah, they've really done a good job moving the ball in a way that they just haven't all season. It's been interesting to watch.
Locklear backpedaling on the run. And just good coverage by Delaware that time, not allowing Locklear to get one off.
Little play action fake here. Good job blocking up front. 3-man rush. That's what allowed Locklear to have all day. Good job extending and then don't take a hit. Throw it away. Got a 3rd and 1 situation here. You got 2 downs to get this first down. You might even think about taking a shot here if you want to.
Movement. Everybody with everybody else.
False start. Offense. Number 23. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
That was Wandamy Davis, who had the 68-yard touchdown earlier this half.
You know, some coaches might think that penalties aren't much of a factor in games. I'll tell you what, that kills me. It kills me to go from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6. It's just a totally different feeling, right? I just said you could probably go for it twice here, but if you don't get some yards here to get closer to that first down, you're down 17, so I guess you have to go for it. But man, I just think that those little detail, discipline type penalties are really, really difficult for any team to overcome.
Here we go again.
Prior to the snap. Timeout, UTEP. Their first. 30-second timeout.
Scotty Walden not happy over there. I'm not sure if there was a miscommunication on alignment, assignment, maybe a personnel issue. But he was hot. He knew this is a gotta-have-it kind of down, and when you gotta have it, you want to make sure that you're making the most of all your opportunities and everything's perfect. So it makes sense there to burn a timeout. Obviously, you want to save him for closer to the end of the game, and looks like he's still a little excited over there inside of the huddle as well.
He's letting them know he didn't necessarily want to burn that timeout, or maybe he's getting fired up. He's getting the team fired up. Look, this is a team that comes in losing 4 in a row. Their lone win in conference play over Sam Houston back on October 15th. Only win other than that against UT Martin in September. You know he's got a young team heading to the Mountain West next year and just trying to end on some positives. And if you're the UTEP offense at the very least, you've done just that. You've thrown for over 100 more yards than you average per game this season. And Skylar Locklear has looked sharp.
Just so surprising to only have 51 yards rushing after that performance that they put on last week. Testament to this Delaware offensive line in front seven.
Locklear had not thrown for over 250 yards in a game this season. He's up over 300 today. Here's Emery making fourth down a little easier.
It's like the positives about playing a game like this. You just have a guy like Locklear who hasn't done it yet this year, but man, he's throwing the ball all over the field. His wide receivers are making plays. See if we can keep an eye on what happened here.
It's the second time Emery's gone down in this ball game. Ashton Emery a week ago, his first career 100-yard game. Never reaching 100 and then hitting 181.
Right.
Pretty impressive stuff.
Very impressive.
For Ashton Emery. Mentioned most rush yards since Aaron Jones in 2016, but now he is down, unfortunately, for UTEP. UTEP has dealt with several players going down. Pretty clean game for Delaware in terms of injuries. UTEP down by 17, 48-31, as Ashton Emery gets to his feet with the help of the training staff there. You hate to see that with 5:46 left in your season. Certainly one of the more promising players for UTEP as they build this program into the Mountain West. They will join next year Nevada, New Mexico, Wyoming, Air Force, Hawaii, UNLV, and San Jose State in the Mountain West. There.
I can't even keep it straight anymore. How many of those teams were in the Mountain West 5 years ago?
I would be able to tell you, but I guarantee you, I don't want to guarantee you, but probably not half of them. It's an ever-changing landscape. On 4th and 3, UTEP in trouble. Locklear, elusive. Locklear's 4th interception. And my son Pollard's 2nd. Twice this season, number 2 with 2 interceptions in a game.
Plus a forced fumble going over and ringing the bell. Locklear with just a great job in the pocket, moving around, avoiding Yelbert. And you can see that just closed up quickly. Laid across the middle is tough when you have a lot of defenders flying around. Great job by Myson Pollard. Staying in his zone, reading the quarterback's eyes, stepping in front of that one and making another interception. And for as good as Locklear has played today and as many explosives as he's had, he's probably had the same amount of interceptions, and like we've already talked about, turnovers are such an important part of this game. It makes such a big difference in being able to keep the momentum on your side and keep the scoreboard on your side as well.
4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the day for Skylar Locklear. And Delaware on their way, so it seems, to win number 6. And whether that gets them a bowl game or not, Pat, it is impressive to move from FCS to FBS and win 6 football games.
Yeah, but like we talked about in the open, it's about where this program is headed under Ryan Carty, and it says a lot to become bowl eligible and win games in your house, right? That's a big part of this as well. You get to finish strong, and hopefully that carries on into recruiting if you're this coaching staff as well.
Spiller trying to end this one with an exclamation mark all the way in.
Greg Spiller, 20 attempts coming into this game, a long of 12 yards. Another thing that these late in the season games are for. Get a couple of your guys who have not gotten as many steps, some reps, get them some film. And now Spiller doing a good job breaking through some arm tackles, cutting it back across the green, and then a little bit of speed to be able to outrun some DBs into the end zone. And like you said, a great exclamation point for this offense that has put up some incredible numbers from a yards and points perspective here today against UTEP.
A double nickel on the scoreboard for Delaware. The last time Delaware put 50 up was back in 2023 against Towson. How about this for your first career touchdown? Greg Spiller, a redshirt freshman from Ashburn, Virginia. Playing time increased over the last 2 weeks with Joe Silver out.
Obviously the explosives are fun, but you mentioned earlier coming into the game 10 turnovers on the season, and to have 5 today is just an explosive output for this Delaware defense. They have to be ecstatic about that as well going into this offseason.
And I think Delaware's saying to whoever creates these bowl games, hey, isn't this fun? Wouldn't you want to see this during bowl season? 55 points, explosive plays, 86 points total in this football game. And Greg Spiller did not play as a true freshman a season ago, getting some chances late in the year here in his redshirt freshman campaign, and takes that one to the house.
All right, so UT San Antonio is up 10-0 over Army. So that's a favorable outcome for Delaware if it stays in that direction. Looks like Texas State is still up 17-13 against South Alabama, which is unfavorable to Delaware. Louisiana's up 17-13 to Louisiana Monroe. Delaware wants Louisiana Monroe to win that game. So looking back on the day, Delaware needed 6 of those 11 games. They have 4 that are in their favor right now.
Who needs a score bug when we've got Pat Devlin reading off scores from his
ESPN
cell phone
app?
It's been a fun one, that's for sure. Here at Delaware, as Skylar Locklear continues to throw. Locklear took over for Malachi Nelson earlier in the season. Nelson, the former #1 player in the country, recruiting-wise, in the class of 2023. He was above Arch Manning. He went to Oklahoma to join Lincoln Riley. Then Lincoln Riley went to USC, and that was the path. It was going to be Caleb Williams into Malachi Nelson, and then Nelson transferred to Boise. Offensive coordinator changed at Boise State, and so Malachi Nelson, #1 player in the class of 2023, came to UTEP through 9 interceptions early on in the season.
How hard is recruiting?
Yeah, obviously, very.
I'm assessing, someone who's in high school. Obviously, everyone has a lot of room to grow there, but 5-star quarterback to that, it's shocking.
And he did have an injury late in his high school career that I'm sure didn't help. But yeah, he was a can't-miss guy, and now he's behind Skylar Locklear here at UTEP, and maybe 3rd on the depth chart behind Shea Smith. What a day for James Yelbert! And whatever that dance is, we've seen a lot of it this afternoon.
Just the speed. We've seen it a couple times. He's just right around whoever it is. You do not want a tight end blocking a good rush defensive end. You want your tackle on that defender. Obviously not the case there, and Yelbert just going right around that tight end.
Yelbert up the road in Wilmington, Delaware. Delaware native, playing on his senior day. You know, there was some confusion in years past about senior day, and because of COVID, well, who's walking, who's being honored. Kind of talked to Coach Carty about, hey, are there going to be any holdovers from senior day today? And he made it very clear with us, at least, that if you were a senior today, that this is you're playing your last home game at Delaware Stadium.
Unless
there's some waivers, right?
There's a JUCO waiver.
That's true.
And then people might be playing football for 8 years.
That's right. JUCO waivers. We'll see what happens with that. Whole new ball game. But those seniors that were honored today really brought it. And another interception. The 5th INT of the day, thrown by Skylar Locklear, and it's Nasir Eatman. The second straight week, the freshman has taken it away.
Good job by Locklear moving around in the pocket, but just throws it directly into the chest of Nasir Eastman there. Mention another interception. 5 on the day now for Skylar Locklear.
And Delaware in position to add on. Let's take this one down to the 2-minute.
Yeah, it looks like Scotty Walden is going to take a timeout here. Try to elongate the game a little bit.
Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 22 seconds. 2:22. Thank you.
Again, if you're Scotty Waldron, you're trying to set the tone for the offseason, set the tone for next year. You're never going to quit on the team. You're going to try to fight till the very end here, even if it just means putting up a couple extra points.
This is the most takeaways under Ryan Carty. Defensively, Delaware had 10 takeaways all season long. 6 today, 6 of them. Saving their best for last in that category. Minicucci tossing. And that's Scott Moore, who got in the end zone earlier today. And Scott Walden says, why not? Call another one, down 55-31.
Timeout, UTEP. Their third and final timeout of the half. Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes, 15 seconds. 2:15.
And you know Carty's saying, like, Coach Carty and Scotty Walden, they're buddies.
Yeah.
So, you know, Coach Carty is saying, all right, Coach Walden, if you're going to call a timeout, I'm going to throw the ball and we're going to try to score again, all right? And it's going to be all love at the end of the game here at midfield, but I'm sure there's a little bit of that competitive spirit coming out of both coaches.
Two of the younger coaches at the FBS level. Third youngest coach is Scotty Walden, just turned 36 on November 15th. Coming over from Austin Peay a couple years ago. But Scotty Walden started at East Texas Baptist. Coach Carty, of course, coached at Sam Houston in Texas as well. 3rd down and 6. And Nick fires end zone, batted away by Dante Thompson. Thompson had 17 pass breakups in 2022 at Incarnate Word. He's got a couple today. And Nate Reed, chance to get busy. Reed had an easy one earlier today of 20 yards. He's also made from 37. This will be for his 15th make of the year. From 32 this time. And Nate Reed adds 3 to the total. 58-31 is the count here in Newark. And Delaware doing a nice job of finally putting UTEP away. As, again, Delaware never felt like Delaware was in jeopardy of losing the ball game the way that they were playing, but the game at times was tighter than you thought it would be.
Yeah, they got it back down to, 7 or 8 a couple times there, and they just did a great job really fighting. This UTEP team did, both offensively and defensively. Just really no quit in this team, and a lot of quick drives. You look at the drive chart, you look at all these different drives, and I don't know what we're at as far as the average drive length goes from a time perspective, but a lot of quick drives, a lot of off and on the field. We talked about early trying to get the run game going for this UTEP offense. They weren't able to do that, but they were able to find another way to put points on the field with those explosives that they've had. And it's been fun to watch all 91 points that have been put up. 89 points, that have been put up on the board today. It's been up and down the field, and it's been a lot of fun.
A couple more touchdowns. We're going to start needing a calculator out here, that's for sure. Most points scored under Ryan Carty in a game as the head coach of the Blue Hens. And that's saying a lot because they put up digits. Yep. Ryan Carty's offense are profound, and this is a team that scores a lot of points. So the most points under Ryan Carty, the previous record came in the playoffs a couple years back, 56. They scored against St. Francis in 2022. And we opened up the show saying, Delaware, this is usually the first Saturday, or the last Saturday, of November. Delaware is typically hosting an FCS first-round playoff game. Still playing for a lot today. They'll get to 6 wins, and they'll scoreboard watch the rest of the day, hoping that not enough teams get to 6, and Delaware could get invited to a bowl game in their first year of FBS football. That'll bring us to the 2-minute timeout. Spiller gave Delaware the big lead. Double nickel. Reed put on 3 more, and the Hens running away with this one. The Delaware Blue Hens 2 minutes away from their 6th win of the season, evening up their overall record and record in Conference USA. Pretty impressive stuff, year 1 in FBS. Locklear thinks twice about forcing something, as he's already thrown 5 interceptions on the game.
I know. But it's really has been a season that I think Delaware fans can look back on and be really proud of. You never know what's going to happen when you make the jump up to a new conference, new division, obviously. We talked about some of the up and downs throughout the course of the season, but overall, great learning experience for, I'm sure, the whole program and all the new that comes along with new conference, new division. More scholarships, right? You got to fill out more scholarships as well. All the recruiting that comes along with it. We sitting out here before the game, and you see the 30 or 40 or however many recruits there were in for this weekend. That's all a part of it as well. And then you factor in NIL and all that new as well. I'm sure there's just a ton here, but the Delaware program should be pretty proud of having this bowl-eligible season, regardless of what happens with the 11 games that I'm sure they'll be focused on after this game ends.
Yeah, really impressive stuff. A lot to balance, a lot to learn your first year playing FBS football, and Delaware has navigated so well under head coach Ryan Carty. A flag on the play as a first down is picked up for Locklear and UTEP. 8 penalties for Delaware. I think the 8th coming up for UTEP.
Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty, it's still 4th down.
Mark Robinson's had his name called, I think, one too many times for his liking.
The FedEx truck is in the building.
Wasn't sure if I was hearing something there. UTEP backing up and a sound effect to boot. As UTEP goes backwards to make it 4th down and 19 for the Miners. Who and what has been a disappointing season, year 2 under Scotty Walden. I think high hopes when Malachi Nelson transferred in, as we talked about, just all the accolades he had prior to becoming a collegiate ball player, and just didn't work out for him. And now for UTEP, they'll finish 2-10 on the year. There's your player of the game. What a line for my son Pollard. 2 interceptions, a forced fumble, and 1.5 tackles for loss. Of course, our player of the game is sponsored by Delaware Orthopedic Specialists, the official orthopedic partner of University of Delaware Athletics. What a day he had.
Unbelievable day, all over the field. We talked about the impact of people like KT Say on this defense, but my son Pollard, just an unbelievable stat line today, making such a big impact on this team as Delaware does their best to take a knee. They took a snap from under center.
Not easy.
So that's something.
For a shotgun team.
Yep.
Dembo getting into the hands of Nick Minicucci. And my son really bounced back. There was the long shot touchdown. He was beat on. Odom beat him for a long score to start the game on a 49 touchdown toss. And then my son bounced back with just a huge day after that. Punched one out right into the hands of Gavin Mole. 2 interceptions twice this season. He's intercepted 2 passes in a game.
Probably the best trait of any defensive back, having a short memory.
And he had that today.
Timeout, Delaware. Their first timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
Are we going to try to pull someone off the field here for a round of applause? Why would he call a timeout there?
Or another penalty to be added to the. You don't want to delay a game penalty there, Pat. You got him. You can't take him into the off. Can't take him into the off season.
Second down. He's going to run around for 3 seconds. Nope. Snap it one more time, probably.
Backflip from Max Patterson. Nick Minicucci with the fake backflip. Is he going to snap it one more time?
I think they're good. I don't think they'll need to snap it again.
See the embrace, Nick Minicucci, Max Patterson. Max Patterson, full of joy. What an addition he's been to this program. And what a season Nick Minicucci has had. If you're a Delaware fan, you hope it continues. You did your part.
Timeout, Delaware. Their second charge timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
Players come onto the field to, I thought to celebrate. They're actually changing.
They're going to kick a field goal.
To kick a field goal and get to 61. On third down, Delaware's going to kick a field goal to try to get 61 points and add on to the highest scoring ball game in Ryan Carty's tenure as the head man of the Blue Hens. From 45, Reed on the final play of the regular season hits it. The Blue Hens get to 6 wins and in their midnight uniforms may have extended the clock on their first season of FBS football. What a way to end it.
527 total yards for this Delaware offense, 300 in the air, 200 rush yards for this Delaware offense. Kind of thought that's what we would see from this UTEP offense, who only ended up with 56 rush yards on the day, but did throw it for 344 yards and put up 31 points on the board. Just a really fun offensive group.
Don't know if Coach Walden loved the decision to add points with 1 second left, but Delaware gets to 6 wins in year 1 of FBS competition. They'll look for help now around college football to reach a bowl game. Delaware gets to 6 wins, which makes you bowl eligible. They were ineligible because of year 1 being in FBS football, but if not enough teams win 6, Delaware could get an offer to play in a bowl game. They've done their part. They'll watch scoreboards around college football the rest of the day. 61-31, an emphatic victory to end the year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I heard some Boca chants out there. I don't know what that was all about.
I hear it's lovely this time of year. So for the last time from Delaware Stadium in 2025, we say goodbye. A big thanks to our producer, Caleb Flieger, and the entire ESPN Plus production team working on this broadcast. For Pat Devlin, I'm Scott Klatskin saying goodbye from Newark, where the Blue Hens are victorious with a final score of 61-31. And now we scoreboard watch the rest of the day to find out Delaware's bowl game status. What a fun season. So glad to be a part of it. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.